Hello, hello, stream. Ah, that's right. I'm back. I'm back with some Great Ace Attorney. Uh, a few days ago we played Everhood, and I said I was gonna come back after dinner with some more Great Ace Attorney. I did. I didn't have. I did not do that. But here we are with an actual Great Ace Attorney night. Hopefully we can finish case two. I'm not sure how much is left, but we're going into the second section of trials. So. Yeah, when we left off, we did a day two of investigation, and lore was uncovered. It has yet to be seen how that lore is all connected to everything yet. But it was certainly some interesting lore. There was a character was considering committing suicide, which was a bit of a tonal shift, but it did make sense within the story. We dissuaded them from it, and we learned lore about their. We've learned a lot of different disconnected pieces of lore, and we don't really know how they're all connected together yet. So we're going to find out. The Memoirs of the Clouded Kokoro, Trial Part 2. I also still don't know why it's called the Memoirs of the Clouded Kokoro. Like, I don't know what that has to do with anything that we've learned so far. 23rd of February, 9:23 a.m. The Old Bailey Defendant's Antechamber. Let me make sure. Yeah, okay, cool. Audio good. Yep. Alright, let's go. Ah! Soseki-san, why? Oh. What a completely unnecessary opening shot. This is it then, Mr. Naruhodo? Yes, it's time to put an end to this now. To the miserable curse that has been plaguing Mr. Natsume. To everything. In my own small way, I shall do everything I can to help you. I always appreciate your help, Miss Susato. Suffering! Soseki! Selfishly! Sidelined! Ah! Good morning to you too, Mr. Natsume. Good morning! Good morning, locum student Mr. Naruhodo Esquire! Listen to you two! Chatting away happily as if the main player of today's trial isn't here! We've been here for 1 second and he's already yelling. He's already yelling. I'm gonna turn my mic down just a wee bit. Why would you do that? Why? Oh dear. We didn't mean to cause offense, Mr. Natsume. I thought perhaps that because you had your eyes shut so tightly you were meditating. Finding inner calm? It seemed wrong to disturb you. I was waiting! What's the matter, Mr. Natsume? You seem different somehow today, Mr. Natsume. Oh, why, naturally. That's because I've attained spiritual enlightenment. The path of literature, you see, is a journey to discover one's own death. Or such like. That's the sort of morning conversation I was hoping for. That's why I had my eyes shut. I missed the signs, I'm afraid, somehow. You'll have to forgive me. And you mustn't talk of your path leading to death, Mr. Natsume. That was just an example! Oh, yes, there it is. Inner calm. I was going through the last stream VOD earlier today to like upload it to YouTube. Friday Night Funkin'. I was going through the. Well, you saw my message in Discord, Jack, about how every time there's a Soseki scene, the audio in my editor is just like spiking. It's just like constant spikes. The audio waves are like insane. You barely came to see me at all yesterday. I was sure you abandoned me and returned to our beautiful long-lost homeland! Okay, anyway, I intend to set everything straight in court today. I'm determined to uncover the truth. Yeah, we're very prepared today. We got a drink, we got a water, and we're ready to hopefully finish this case. Let's see. I've actually reached an important decision myself. Oh, what sort of decision? I shall fill in for you. I shall fill you in after the trial. The music was too loud. It's distracting me. It would seem Mr. Sholmes isn't coming to Daphne. He will show up halfway through the case, just as he always does. He overslept again. And I said it at the end of the last stream. He's going to show up halfway through and help us, but until then, he will sleep in. Long may he stay away, if you ask me. Defendant and your legal representative, trial's about to begin. Make your way into the courtroom immediately. Today, once again, we face the Reaper. The Grip Reaper. February 23rd, 9:40 a.m. The Old Bailey Quarter. In the name of Her Majesty the Queen, I hereby declare this court to be in session. I call upon the counsels for the prosecution, and defense to declare their willingness to proceed. The prostitution is ready. Please pretend I didn't say that. Very good. Now I call upon the 6 ladies and gentlemen of the jury, chosen by lot to represent the will of the people in this trial. Are you ready to proceed? Absolutely. Justice will be done, you mark my words. I feel obliged to say I feel especially ruthless on days when my head is sitting just right. Oh, okay, I don't care. Thieves deserve to die, if you ask me. Especially gas thieves. No sympathy for the man at all. She's talking about the victim, not the accused. What? This is gonna be a weird trial, I already know. Because Sussy Shamspear is so, like... I'm not convinced he didn't poison himself to, like, frame Soseki so he could then steal... So he could then get into Soseki's room to get the treasure of Selden Roger, the One Piece. That's my theory, anyway. Just putting it out there. That's my theory. Now, Lord Von Zeeks, what can you tell us? The prosecution's report, please, for the court. I'm sorry I called you a prostitute. In relation to the theory expounded by the defense yesterday, regarding the defendant's tea. So he does have innocence. Ah, we're already pouring a glass. Let's go. Before the prosecution delivers the black news about the black tea belonging to the blackguard in the dock, pray allow me a moment to savor a liquid of a more sanguine hue. In fact, I'll defer to the good detective for the report. Here's to you, Inspector. Cheers to you. So, does that mean there's poison in the tea? As indicated by the defense, we found a bar of soap just outside the victim's window in the snow, and there was indeed a frozen reddish liquid in a little depression on the top of it. Yes, that's the tea. That's what Mr. Natsume brought with him that night. Well, the brains at the yard analyzed it, and yes, you're right, it was tea. And there wasn't a trace of strychnine. Oh, let's go! There's no poison in the tea. There's no poison in the tea. No poison at all? In other words, the tea that the defendant brought with him to the victim's room is innocent. It's in the clear. What a revelation! As I suspected. This makes it quite clear. The defendant, Mr. Soseki Natsume... Objection! My learned friend is jumping to conclusions again. A typical Nipponese reaction. What? Yes, it's true, no poison was found in the few drops of liquid recovered from the soap on the window ledge. But, what logic is that? Would you take a drop from the Thames and conclude that the water in the ocean isn't salty? My word! The water in the ocean is extremely salty, Counsel. I took this metaphor entirely too literally. Exactly. Unfit for drinking. Just as the victim's tea was on the night in question, as the court has already heard. Bitter was the precise word from the lips of Mr. William Shamspear. Bitter. Whom the prosecution now call... Oh, great. Sussy Shamspear takes the stand. I could just be all the audio in Friday Night Funkin'. They should just make... Somebody mod Friday Night Funkin'. Just be all audio of me making strange sounds. Bailiff, show Mr. Shamspear to the stand. Ah, Mr. William Shamspear, the victim of this despicable crime. Oh, heaven! Oh, hell! Do you command me to remember? Forsooth, 'twas I, Shamspear, did have a belly full of the foul fluid given in mine innocence. Yes, but as was revealed in yesterday's proceedings, the witness is not as innocent as we had perhaps first been led to believe. By using bars of soap such as this, he has been stealing gas from the supply company. Yes. One may smile and be a villain. Forsooth, 'twas I, Shamspear, did have a room full of the sweet fuel given. That's right. Fellow jurors, don't forget, this man is a rotten thief. He's not under accusation. We've, diverted the suspicion to him, but he's the victim. It doesn't... Arrest him, I say! Arrest him at once! Oh, indeed, by dint of vile and cowardly means I plotted to further mine own ends. I confess. Is he saying... What is he saying here? Thou wouldest not pardon of my sins, of that I am sure. If you acknowledge your wrongdoing, what exactly are you doing here? Cowards die many times before their deaths, and for a coward such as I, death be well deserved. But would it that a still greater crime passeth unpunished? For lo, the hairy-faced gentleman of farther east than Verona did contrive to poison me! His animations are so over the top. I mean, everybody's are, but his are next level. There was no poison in the tea found in your room. The police have attested that. What the defense would assert as an inconsistency will quickly be cleared up by the witness's testimony. Is that not so, Mr. Shamspear? Verily, my liege, I would most gladly speak. Very well. Let the witness testify to explain this inconsistency. Tell the court why it is that the poison apparently entered your body, though none was found in the tea. Oh, that stupid face. The tea inconsistency. Inconsistency! The Japanese man did come to my chamber with tea brewed in a pot. 'Twas in my cup alone that the wicked miscreant secretly poured his wicked poison, whilst feigning distraction in our debate. Now did a drop of his own drink pass his lips. When he departed by and by, I did use the tea that remained in his cup to make my coins of ice. Thus 'tis no surprise that poison not be found in the tea that I did pour into the molds of soap. Okay. I don't know if we actually have anything to disprove this yet, but the poison was slipped into the cup after the tea had been poured. The normal way for poison to be administered, in my experience. Correct! Otherwise it would be disastrous if the poisoner were to mix up the cups, for instance. But no poison bottle was found at the scene, because, quite simply, the Nipponese took the bottle back to his own room. The absence of a vessel containing the poison only becomes problematic when considering suicide. By now it should be perfectly clear. A bar or two of cheap soap is wholly insufficient to wash the deep stains of guilt from the accused's hands. Sirs, madams, 'tis true that I, Shamspear, be a common thief of gas. But, listen here, ladies and gentlemen. The deranged cane-bending animation we unlocked in the last stream. I almost said episode. These kind of are just long Let's Play episodes sometimes. Wherefore would I lie? Verily, I have no cause. I have naught to lose. Well, I do declare. Hey, that's my line. Thank you for your testimony, witnesses. Counsel, proceed with the cross-examination. Yes, my lord. I do feel like we still have a lot of information to figure out, though, so this will probably be a longer stream. Not long Let's Play video length, I'll tell you that. Japanese man did come to my... Okay, wait. I need to check an evidence piece before I... So he's arguing Natsume didn't drink anything. There is no tea ring on the inside of Mr. Natsume's cup. That would suggest more so that tea was never even poured, wouldn't it? Hold on, let me read this text again. This is the teacup from Mr. Natsume. Yes, unlike the other one, the inside is completely clean. He must drink the contents before he has a chance. Okay, hold on. I need elaboration on this argument here. Near did a drop of his own drink pass his lips. Why wouldn't he drink his own drink if he only poisoned the other drink? The teacup Mr. Natsume drank from was found completely empty at the scene. And let's not forget the defendant's maxim. Drink tea while it's hot. I did gulp from the poisoned cup that night, and in mine agony did I writhe uncontrolled. Okay, wait, who had the stains? There is no tea ring on Mr. Natsume's cup, there is one on Shamspeare's. That's what I thought. In fits of pain, I did knock the fellow's cup and its contents spilt its blood from a gaping wound. Methinks. Okay, that's a lie. That is a lie. How are we going to prove that's a lie? An upset cup was found on the table that the victim was slumped over. There was no contradiction here. It's true, there was no tea left in either cup, but still, something about this statement is troubling. It's sus! It's a sus statement, but I don't know how yet. Thank you, witness. I'll reiterate for the court what it is that occupied you after your guest had left and before you drank your tea. When he departed by and by, I did use the tea that remained in his cup. There shouldn't be any remaining in his cup. If there was no tea ring, that doesn't make sense. You just contradicted yourself blatantly.
Objection!
Get out of here, nerd. You claim Mr. Natsume didn't drink a drop of tea, and that you used the tea that was left in his cup to make your fake coins. But that's not possible. How, Choplogic? I don't know that word. What is this, ye darkly clad friend? Again with the dark E-clad instead of darkly clad. Maybe that wasn't a typo when it came up last time? I don't know. And 2 teacups from the scene, one used by the victim and the other by the defendant, have a clear difference between them. One that represents incontrovertible proof. Turn up the volume for the 6666 song. What difference? Look at the inside of the cups. Just here. There's a clearly visible ring. Yes, a tea ring. Commonplace enough. Indeed, such stains occur all too readily when one leaves the tea in the cup for a while. And yet, Mr. Natsume's cup has no such ring. Good lord, you're right. It's completely clean. And prithee, sir, what makest thou of it? Exactly what Mr. Natsume told the court yesterday. The Japanese saying he quoted, "Drink tea while it's hot." That's right. Yes, the jittery Mr. Natsume was true to his usual self that night and drank his tea in no time. Oh! Okay, my thing here is, Shamspeare's argument right now is that Soseki poured the poison in Shamspeare's tea. Right? Isn't that the argument? Hold on. No, this is not. I want the logs. I don't have enough history. Although I'm pretty sure he was saying that Soseki, like, why does he need to include, what about his lie? Why did he feel the need to include Soseki not drinking his tea? Why was that a detail he decided on adding? Makes me think that is true somehow, but I don't know. Like, there has to be some reason he included that detail, because it just sets him up for a lie. But, in short, Mr. Shamspeare, you clearly lied to the court. Get thee to a nunnery!
Objection!
This time I'm drinking like fizzy soda, not alcohol. taste better than that rosé, to be honest. As a rule, I fill my hollowed chalice up to 7 times during any one trial. You might want to keep that information to yourself. Now pour number 3. And on occasion, tedium distracts me, and I pour more times than I intended until the bottle is dry. Your drinking habits are fascinating, but irrelevant. Did you know that a penguin once got knighted? They now call him Sir Brine. Is there a pun there I'm missing? I don't. On the contrary, they illustrate the fickleness of the human memory. To William Shakespeare. Yes, my liege. Though you previously stated that you made the coins of ice from the leftover tea in the accused's cup, why does this come on? Stop showing that. Could it be that you were perhaps mistaken? Oh god, he's just like egging him on. Come on, dude. Could it be that, yes, perhaps there was some tea remaining in the small teapot left at the scene? A fact that had vanished from your memory until now. Faith, my liege, thou art a magician. Oh, he's helping this fricker lie. Alright. For verily, 'tis as though thou hast seen with thine own eyes that night. What? Forsooth, I was mistook. I did plan to use tea from the Japanese fellow's cup, but lo, when I looked, 'twas empty, and thus did I use the dregs that festered in the teapot, as my liege did suggest. And you've just suddenly remembered now that you made a mistake before? Are we supposed to believe that? Kucha mabucha. People's memories are imperfect, my learned friend, which is why we rely on evidence instead. But in any case, it makes no difference. The victim's most recent testimony tells us 2 things of note. Firstly, the poison was put into the victim's teacup only. And secondly, that this spoiled cup was not the source of the insipid ice coins that have bewitched this court. He hates the whole, ice coins subplot. Furthermore, that testimony remains valid and in full support of the established facts. In other words, the inconsistency claimed by the defense simply does not exist. What does this mean, then? I do declare that means it's apart from the bit about the thieving gas, obviously. My lords, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I do solemnly swear, after I did dine at Grubb's Grubbery Alehouse that night, naught did pass my lips but the black tea given me by the Japanese, whose back be stooped as low as death. And on what did you dine, sir? Why, I did partake in one of my favorites, a broth as wouldst be called soup, and a leaf as wouldst be called salad. Wait a minute. What was the place that Olive Green was supposed to be going to meet up with the guy about her boyfriend's death, her fiance's death? It was like soup and salad bar or something. I don't know what it was called. Is it in my evidence? I don't know if there's anything about it in here, but yeah, I don't think there's anything about it in here, but I'm wondering if he was there. Sounds connected. As insalubrious a menu as the establishment where it was served. But ye gods will give us some faults to make us men. He said that line and the smile and smile villain line, 5 times. Willingly would I suffer what punishment is seen fit to serve a wicked thief of gas. But I pray ye wise and noble fellows, ne'er forget the simple truth. Kucha mabucha, that be one thing, and this be another. Jurors all, your humble servant Shakespeare doth entreat you, punish the Japanese fellow for his sins. My lord! Who just yelled that? That was him? Why did he yell like that? If I may speak, my lord. Yes, Mr. Foreman? I believe we may have been duped by that rotten defense lawyer. By me? I do declare you may be right. We all know the waif there was making coins of ice to keep himself warm. But this lawyer lad says if he's stealing gas, he deserves a dose of poison, eh? He's been leading us up the garden path. I didn't say that he deserved poison. What? One brain cell understanding of this. Okay, oh great. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, you will state your decision. Yeah, guilty. 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 I've gotten to the point in this game where I kind of skip juror dialogue unless it's, like, more than one line. I hereby declare the jury to be in one accord. Oh, happy day! Kucha Mabucha! Kucha! He just Kucha Mabucha the entire jury to be on his side. How is this happening? My lord, the defense asserts its right to carry out a summation examination. Very well. The court upholds the defense's right. Typical. My learned friend is unable to accept the obvious truth. This trial will therefore enter its second summation examination immediately. Jurors, the court calls upon each of you to state the grounds upon which you find the defendant guilty of the crime of which he is charged. Judicial findings. I'm a man of logic, me, and having considered all the evidence, the defendant must logically be guilty. I do agree that gas is far too expensive. I can quite understand why the man would want to avoid paying. The stuff explodes and it can poison you. The gas can poison you, huh? Interesting. I feel like this is going to be relevant. It's absolutely lethal, gas is. Gas doesn't come for free. It costs a fortune to deliver it around the city and maintain the pipes. Truth be told, the team my wife stirs up for me is a little sketchy at times. What? What do you mean? Is something bad that he... If nothing else passed the victim's lips that night, there is no other explanation, is there? I definitely want to press some of these juror statements, because a lot of them feel like they have more to dig into. I do feel that perhaps personal opinion about gas and its supply has influenced decisions somewhat. But never mind. No, you really should mind. The truth is, our counter-argument wasn't as unassailable as we'd hoped, and Mr. Shamspeare was poisoned. There can be no doubt of that. How can we turn this around? I think we need to establish the method by which Mr. Shamspeare was actually poisoned. Our only hope is to demonstrate that to the court incontrovertibly. But surely that's almost impossible at this stage. If we don't manage it, though, Mr. Natsume will be found guilty. No delays, counsel. Proceed with the summation examination. Jury examination. Okay, this statement is filler. I want to press this one about poison and gas. Could we please talk about the poison rather than the gas, do you think, sir? Well, if you like. I mean, to be honest, I'd take poison over gas every time. Do you take poison? What I mean is, poison can only poison you. It doesn't explode, does it? Goodness me, what are you talking about? Set him straight, please, lawyer man. Well, it's certainly true that poison isn't prone to exploding, but I think you'll find poison also can't light or heat up a room. Why are we discussing this? I don't know. Oh, you're right, I hadn't considered that at all. Young lawyer man. Yes? You have a good head on your shoulders. We could use someone like you as our company's legal representative. Well, I wasn't expecting to pick up more business in the middle of a trial, that's for sure. Okay. Does that have to do with anything? Not really.
Hold it!
Can we please refrain from all this talk of gas? There's an all-out attack underway here, in case you hadn't noticed, against my company's gas. And I'm supposed to sit here and take it, am I? I don't think so. She's really buzzing now, huh? Because she's a bee. Get it? Bee umbrella. All I've heard about our wonderful fuel is explosions and poisonings. What about electricity? What about getting electrocuted? How about that? Getting electrocuted isn't a positive, but okay. The gas thieves aren't even the worst of our enemies. We have far more devious reprobates to contend with on a daily basis, you know. More devious? Who, madam? Other gas companies, of course. Other gas companies. We generate gas and we deliver it to our customers fair and square. Indeed. Nobody is questioning. But there are other unscrupulous gas companies here in London that don't even have any gas at all. What? But if they don't have any gas, how do they go about selling it to people? You wouldn't think it possible, would you? But they steal our gas, you see, and sell that. They steal your gas? How on earth is such a thing possible? Gas companies like ours deliver gas to people's homes via a network of pipes. These devious reprobates secretly disconnect our pipes and divert our gas into their own rotten pipes. Then they make a contract with the household supplied by those pipes and take money for the precious gas that's rightfully ours without us even knowing. They're diverting gas into their own pipes illegally. What a brazen form of theft! Alright, so how is this relevant either? Is Shamsphere doing this? When we visit... What did she say? When we visit customers' houses to collect the money from the meters, we always have to check whether or not those devious companies have been up to its tricks. What is this face? What is this face this guy is making? Gas? Gas thievery! Do you have something to say about that, juror number 3? Oh, golly! You mean me? I'm terribly sorry. I was just thinking to myself. Thinking about what the young lady next to you was saying, correct? Well, yes. I just got a little riled about it recently, you see. Go on. An Altamont gas worker visited my house the other day to investigate the paperwork. We need to ask for your cooperation while we carry out a secret check of your property, sir, the fellow said. So I let him in, and do you know what he did? I'm afraid I have no idea. Please tell us. He proceeded to take one of my lights off the wall. Then he grabbed the exposed mouth of the pipe and started blowing into it. What do you think you're doing, young man? You're giving away company secrets. Oh, please, everybody knows. But it was very near to the death of me, I can tell you. I like that we just keep, like... Every time we can't figure out what to do next, we just divert the topic of conversation to be about gas again. Like, Von Zeeks is standing over on his prosecutor bench like, oh, he's distracting us with talk of gas again. These unscrupulous other gas companies connect their customers, so how does blowing into the pipes? Obviously, there's gas in the pipes, and it's at a fairly low pressure. By blowing air through the pipe, you can make the pressure drop temporarily. And if you do that, any lights connected to the same pipe will flicker for a moment. Ah, I see. In other words, if, upon blowing into the pipe, the lights of an adjacent property that has no contract with your company flicker, you can know that these devious scoundrels have been meddling with the pipes. Exactly, my lord. That's it in a nutshell. It's the reason why we have teams of workers going around neighborhoods to investigate which lights flicker. The trouble is, the particular worker who came to my house didn't know the strength of his own breath. He blew down the pipe with all his might, and you can guess what happened, can't you? What? I don't... The lights didn't just flicker, they went out! Along with the stove, gas started pouring into the house. What a disaster. Wait a minute. Does that mean that anybody could blow into the pipes to cause a power outage across the house? The gas supply must have been interrupted briefly because the man blew too hard, so the flames went out. I'm afraid I yelled at the fellow. Are you trying to kill us all? I said. Like somebody in the first floor room could kill somebody on the second floor room by blowing into the pipes in Garrative household. That's what I'm thinking right now. I'm like, So by disconnecting a lamp and blowing into the exposed gas pipe, it's possible to extinguish lamps and stoves connected to the same network of pipes. And then when the gas starts flowing again, it just silently seeps into the room. Mr. Naruhodo, I think perhaps... Yeah. It's definitely connected to... Okay, yeah, add that to your testimony. Well, I do! That's our company's secret method. You can't add it to your testimony. Very well. Juror number 3, you will amend your statement accordingly. Yes, my lord. I'm not really sure what all the point of this is. go too hard into a gas pipe and you extinguish everything in the house. Gas doesn't come for free.
Hold it!
You mean it's poisoned? That's right. Happened a few times now. It's always days like this one when I don't get any wages. I get in at tea time, see? I see her doing it. My wife. She gets that devilish look on her face and she slips some white... His wife is poisoning him? What does this have to... Okay, this is just silly. I was brought up proper. Someone gives you a cuppa, you drink it. What? What? Is she putting salt in the tea? What is going on? I don't care about this. Even Von Zeeks is like, stop. I think perhaps your wife put salt in the tea, and that's why it was salty. No! So, she didn't even care enough to poison me properly, eh? Unbelievable. Alright, that was pointless. Like, everybody, including Von Zeeks, got a shot there of being like, that was pointless. If nothing, I think this is the one to pit. Because something else may have passed the victim's lips. Something like, gas! Those two statements clearly contradict each other. Good gracious! To whose statements do you refer, counsel? Juror number 6. Did you hear what juror number 3 just said? What? Yes, of course. I heard him mumbling about something or other. The, like, scared face this guy has makes me sad. Like, I don't like yelling at him. He's just a cute little old man. Cute little Winnie the Pooh looking old man. Like, if this game had voice acting, I would want, like... If this game had, like, full voice acting, I would want him to have, like, a little, like Winnie the Pooh type of... Oh, bother. I can't do Winnie the Pooh. That was bad. Something besides Mr. Natsume's tea did, in a manner of speaking, pass the victim's lips on the night in question. What? What explanation? I wonder, did the police check the mouth of the gas pipe feeding the wall light at the scene to see if there were any traces of poison there? I was curious to see what your floundering would result in this time. But the mouth of a gas pipe? Scotland Yard have enough to do without exploring such irrelevance. What a piece of work is a man! What are you trying to say, Mr. Shamspeare? What speakest thou? Prithee, is it not strange and strange? That is what I say to thee, sir! I thought I'd been quite clear, but let me put it another way. The strychnine could have been on the mouth of the gas pipe that feeds the wall lamp in your room. And that is how the poison came to enter your body. Good Lord! So is he saying that Shamspeare breathed into the pipe, or is he just saying that there was poison in the gas? Are they tasty, then, gas pipes? Is that what he's saying? Or is the gentleman suggesting that the poor man was so desperately hungry he tried to fill his belly with... I like that nobody here knows what he's saying either. Perhaps no actress would perform a kiss scene with him, Oh, for shame, madam, speaking thy fancy. I assure you I'm not such a buffoon that I have to kiss pipes. We didn't even see him fill that glass. We just got the straight throwing it. This is no summation examination. This is a farce. The prosecution will not stand for any more of my learned Nipponese friends' conjecture. Okay. I know we are 40 minutes into the stream, but I should have used the bathroom before I started stream. Because now I need to go to the bathroom. I very much need to use the bathroom. So I'll be right back. Don't leave. If anyone comes, tell them I'm in the bathroom. New bit incoming. New. Oh no. Oh no, what is happening? Who, yeah, which group member in our group is doing this? There's no way that... Who made an account titled Jenna Ortega Twitch and is on here? Why did someone link me this stream? Oh my god. Very funny, whoever this is. I'm gonna keep playing now. To begin with, the lamp in the victim's room is high on the wall. In order to have placed his lips into the pipe that feeds it, he would have to be a contortionist. What stream? The foot stream. It's not the foot stream. We're not doing this again. Oh my god. These are empty assertions. This is this is a game called The Great Ace Attorney, and I am playing it. That is all that is happening here. These are empty assertions. There is no possible proof that the man did as you say. It's true. I have no proof that Mr. Shamspear put his lips to the pipes. However, I can say with some certainty that on multiple occasions, Mr. Shamspear has been doing something in front of that lamp on his wall. What? That sounds like a euphemism. What is he doing? He's been doing something in front of that lamp. Sus. Sus. I have evidence to prove it. What is he been doing? This sounds weird. Okay, now that I've got the jury's ear, I need to make this opportunity. Emma told me about this game. Okay, who made this account? Emma is the name of another one of the actors in Wednesday. So whoever this is very committed to this. Very committed to. This is the proof that time and time again, Mr. Shamspear stood in front of his gas lamp. What is he? Mr. Shamspear stood in front of his gas lamp. I have no idea what I'm supposed to be doing here. Proof that time and time again, Mr. Shamspear stood in front of his gas lamp. Are you friends with anyone on the cast? They sent your stream in our group chat and told me to get out there. No, I don't know anyone in the Wednesday cast. Is this a bit? Who is doing this? Why would they have found this? No, okay. This is the proof that time and time again, Mr. Shamspear stood in front of his gas lamp. Nepo baby Jenna. Shut up, Jenna. Photographic print. This is the proof that time and time again. I don't know. This is the proof that time and time again, Mr. Shamspear stood in front of his gas lamp. It's a cool game though. I mean, if you want to just watch, you can. What is he doing in front of his gas lamp? I'm kind of just in the middle of. I genuinely have no idea what to present here. Jack, do you have a hint? Can you give me a hint? I have absolutely no idea what to do here. So, he wasn't blowing into the pipes. I need to read the logs. He wasn't blowing into the pipes, but Mr. Shamspear has been doing something in front of that lamp on his wall, and I have evidence to prove it. True, I have no proof that Mr. Shamspear put his lips to the pipe. It's been a year, so yeah, fair enough. I don't know. They're empty assertions. There is no possible proof that the man did as you say. To begin with, the lamp in the victim's room is high on the wall. Maybe he's. What? I genuinely have no idea. He's not, so he wouldn't be blowing into the pipe. Is this some kind of lawyer video game? Yeah, basically, you're pretending to be a lawyer, or you're playing a lawyer, and you have to solve mysteries. Basically, right now I'm trying to figure out it's almost like too complicated to explain. The lawyer. It's like the guy that I'm questioning right now is the victim of a poisoning attempt. But he's like up to some shady shit, and I'm trying to figure out what it is. Oh, this is the evidence. Okay, yeah, because he's fucking around with the painting in his room. Yeah, there we go. These are... Wait, what are they called? Yes, skin prints that were found at the scene. Skin prints, counsel? I've never heard of such things. The Justice Ministry is currently assessing whether or not to permit fingerprints as evidence in court, however. Are you a gamer, Jenna? My lord, this is an exciting new forensic technique developed by the great detective Mr. Herlock Sholmes. It reveals all of the places that Mr. Shamspear touched in his room. That's why we said, oh, he's been doing something. Sometimes I have a switch, but rarely use it. I've never seen anything like it. I mean, that's black magic, isn't it? Well, if anyone could invent something like this, it's that great Sholmes fellow. That's for sure. You know what? I'll play along. So why did your why were you linked to this stream? Just out of curiosity. I agree. This month's edition of engineering with Riz. Shut up, Jack. I agree. This month's edition of Engineering Thumbs was quite fascinating. This game is on Switch, if you want to play it. We found skin prints in many places that you would expect. On the table, on the costumes. However, Mr. Shamspear also appears to have been touching some very unexpected places in this room. If you don't shoot your shot, I will. For example, here, around the hanging picture there. Indeed, multiple handprints appear to be visible. Well, I wonder, could he have been appreciating the artwork, perhaps? At first, my colleagues and I thought the same. However, imagine standing with your hands where those prints are. You would find yourself directly in front of the Wizard of Oz. Oh my god. In front of... I don't believe it. The gas lamp. Though the reason why isn't immediately obvious, it's clear that Mr. Shamspear has regularly been sitting with his hands on the wall in front of the... He's been standing with his hands to the wall in front of the lamp. I'm trying to, like, read chat and do this. There's normally not that many people here. That's why I'm curious how you or your friends found this stream. I mean, it's good to have you here, but... He's getting nervous. I'm playing a game, Jack. I'd ask the court to recall juror number 4's earlier statement. I'm less nervous and more confused, to be honest. Me? What did I say? You said that blowing into a gas pipe would make the lights in the entire building flicker. And now, you'll recall juror number 3's statement. What? Me now? When the gas worker who visited his home blew with too much force into the pipe, it caused all the lights and the gas stove to go out, and gas to start leaking into the rooms. Obviously, that incident was an accident. However, the simple fact is, if Mr. Shamspear were to have blown hard into the gas pipe here in his room, he could have extinguished every other light and gas stove in the building at will. Crikey! So wait, he was blowing into it? All the lights on the... So we were arguing that he was blowing into the gas pipe to make the lights flicker. Okay. But why? Are you suggesting that the man purposefully caused the gas to...
Objection!
Whilst I acknowledge that the prosecution is required to remain silent during a summation examination, I must toast my learned friend's utter disregard for the letter of the law. What is the meaning of this, Lord Van Zeeks? This curious photograph, or whatever it is, presented by the defense, the so-called skin prints. Clearly, that cannot... Yeah, here we go. The classic issue. Sherlock Holmes's wacky technology is not allowed in this courtroom. This game's set in, like, turn-of-the-century England, and it's got, like, this Sherlock Holmes character that's making all these, like, weird contraptions to help us solve the mysteries, basically. But it's an exciting new forensic technique. Sherlock Holmes. Yeah, for copyright reasons, they flipped his name. It's Sherlock Holmes, but they flipped the name, basically. He's a funny character. Hopefully he'll show up later in this stream. It's nothing. A mere toy. Sherlock in my shome. Her cock in my shome. I don't know. It's nothing. A mere toy developed by an amateur sleuth with too much time on his hands. Ugh. Certainly, even research of this nature by the esteemed Mr. Sholmes cannot be recognized by the court as formal evidence. But... Please, my lord, if I may. Miss Susato. It was not the defense's intention to submit the skin prints as formal evidence. We merely wish to present the results of the great detective's investigation of the scene as a tool by which to explain a possibility to the ladies and gentlemen of the jury. I don't know why I interpreted that as like a growl. And if the trial were to come to an end now, we should never learn the truth behind these mysterious handprints that everyone has now seen. I don't believe we can allow that to happen, and I'm sure the jurors would agree. For what? Sexual. Oh, maybe so. Whether the strange handprints are a significant clue or not, it's down to us to decide. I want to hear what that's study. Okay, so they're changing their jury judgments, which means I get more time to try to, I don't know, figure out who did this poisoning, I guess. We still have no like real suspects. We're defending our client. We're a defense attorney, and we don't think it's our client, but the person we've been questioning is the victim of the attempted poisoning. So this doesn't like we're slowly revealing more information about him, but it's not. I don't know how it's going to get us to who actually poisoned him. I'm very curious how it's going to work. Well done, Mr. Naruhodo. Just one more juror changes his or her mind, Mr. Natsume's trial will have to continue. Thank you, Miss Susato, but I couldn't have done it without you. Oh no, it was you who identified the clue after all. This is very much your success. Why, Mr. Shamspear? You seem to be losing your composure. Just one more juror, Mr. Naruhodo. You can do it. Very well. Continue, counsel. Man of launch me into Well, I need to pit more people against each other? Oh, because only 2 of them change their judgments, and 3 of them have to change their judgments in order for me to stop doing this part. Great. Okay, well, I guess that means I need to press some more statements. We're the ones who decide if the evidence is worthy of consideration. Us, the jury. Okay, blah, blah, blah. Gas doesn't come for free. Why? What is this about the salt in his tea? I don't know, that doesn't seem... Oh, wait, no, he's changing... Oh, no, I need 4 of them. I need a majority voting innocent. So, I need to, I don't know. Who can I even pit against each other at this point? Like, half of them are out of the... Stop talking. Okay. Yeah, it's literally just these 3. Number 1, number 4, and number 5. So, I don't... Let's press state. Let's try to convince the foreman, the like leader of the jury, that he's wrong, because then they'll follow him. Germa? What? I didn't say Germa. Why are you saying? What? I'm not. Who said Germa? Oh, you said Germa is streaming. Germa, Chuck Batman's boyfriend. Oh, chill. It's not my boyfriend. It's a streamer I like to watch. I did also get a notification that he's streaming. I see you also follow him, Jack. They are intimate. That's right, and there's no room for doubt. It's all pointing at that Japanese man with the big mustache. What? Why am I... Okay. It says the Englishman with the bigger mustache. But the defense just demonstrated another possible explanation for the events on the night in question. What do you make of that? What, your so-called skin prints? It's an exciting new forensic investigation technique developed by the great detective himself. OJ was innocent. The numerous dot. Jack's just here to rile me up, basically. To just say things that will make me laugh or derail the stream. The glove didn't fit. What if they did an Ace Attorney game where you defend O.J. Simpson? Well, yes, I won't deny that it's playing on my mind, the possibility that that's where the poison was, in the gas pipes. But as the prosecution rightly says, we should pay no heed to unacceptable forms of evidence. And besides, yes, even if the fellow had been up to some mischief with the gas pipe dozens of times before, doesn't mean he got up to the same shenanigans on the night in question, does it? Oh. If you can't make your case better than that, I'm afraid I can't change my stance. Okay, we definitely need to get him to change his stance. What? No? Wait. No. Wait. Look, you've got your chance here, haven't you? So prove your theory. If you and your Japanese cohorts can. Half the characters are racist. Can Can I show that Mr. Shamspear really did blow the... down? Interesting. There's a I have supporting testimony option? I've never seen that before. That makes me think that that's the one I should pick, because why would that even be, like, an option? Because usually I don't have that. Let me try that. I don't have any evidence. However, there is witness testimony that substantiates it. Testimony. Yeah. Like, it's just like getting, like... I'm sure you know what the word I don't know whose testimony. I usually don't get to present other people's testimony like this. So this could be interesting. John Garadib. He monitors all the gas.
Take that!
Jenna acting like she's been here the whole time. SMH. I mean... It's... Well, Mr. Foreman, does that convince you? Don't antagonize her. Bring back Joan. No, we're not bringing back Joan. Rest assured, Counsel. Okay, good. We're not bringing back any of the Garadibs. Let's go. A witness who spoke about the gas. Who spoke about the gas? Was it... If it wasn't Joan, who spoke about the gas? Hold on. Let me look at all the people in this case. Jack, did you make this account? I wish. Well, I don't think it's Jack, but I also... What did one of your college friends make it? I imagine you putting someone up to... Who talked about gas? Did Soseki talk about gas? This guy. No, that doesn't make sense. Quinby Altamont. Okay, I'm gonna press this again. Well, no, not Pitt. Back. I'm confused. They don't think you're real, Jenna. They think somebody in my group made this account. And I also agree, but I also am skeptical. Let's say. All the evidence, you say. That's right. And there's no room for doubt. It's all pointing at that Japanese man with the big mustache. Blah, 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 says the Englishman with the bigger mustache. Watch your so-called skin prints. An exciting new forensic investigation technique developed by the great detective himself. He wants her to be real so bad. Not real. I mean, I'd just be confused as to, like, how her or her friends found this stream if she was real. I'd be like, I'd just be like, huh? Honestly, I don't know. I'd just kind of that'd be a little like weird to me. Not like weird on her part. More just I don't know. That'd just be strange. I don't know how I would feel about that. But I'm going along with it. It's better to engage as if it is real than to like try to figure out who did this. Like I'll play along, whether it's actually her or not. If you and your Japanese cohorts can, that is. Okay, we already read all of this text. I thought Mr. Shamspear. Do I have supporting testimony? Is this like real? Like, why is that an option? If that's not what I'm supposed to pick. Like, why not just have me present evidence? Somebody did talk about the gas. Soseki, I think. Because he was talking about, like, the curse or whatever. Obviously, I'm talking about the defendant, Mr. Soseki Natsume himself. Oh, yeah, we got the right answer. You can tell because the music changed. The defendant. At the very beginning of the proceedings here in court yesterday, Mr. Natsume said the following. My lodgings! There's been a whole series of strange happenings at my lodgings! Even on that fateful night it happened, when I returned from Mr. Shamspear's room. I lit my gas stove and climbed into bed, but before long, the stove went out, and somebody tried to kill me! Who killed Jenna Ortega? Oh my god. On the night in question, the gas in the defendant's room went out. So I asked the court, was that a mere coincidence, or not? Lord golly! So that Shamspear fellow blew air into the gas pipe to make the man's stove go out on purpose. Now hold your horses there. What'd he do it for? What would he do that for? Did you see that shot of him just like lurking in the corner with his staff like, ooh, I didn't do anything? See Scream 6 and find out. Yeah. Spoilers? Spoilers? You die in Scream 6? What the? What is it, man? We cannot allow judgment to be passed whilst this doubt remains. It's true that it's true that I don't have any conclusive evidence yet. However, you must surely agree. Who are you telling to get fucked? Fair enough. Like I said at the outset, I'm a man of logic. This guy's actually, like, probably one of the better jurors we've had, but specifically in this case. That's 4 jurors leaning towards not guilty, my lord. We've overturned the decision. Therefore, the defense calls for the trial to continue. I've never seen a Scream movie. But, I mean, they look interesting. It's not usually, I don't usually watch that many. I kind of watch horror movies based on recommendation from other people. Nobody's recommended it to me. Jack, have you seen any Scream movies? The summation examination has concluded with the majority of jurors altering their decisions. 2 jury members now called guilty. 4 now called not guilty. I have, Jenna. I watch all your projects with Riz. Oh my god. Therefore, the jury's opinion. You haven't even seen. Have you, Jack? Have you even watched Wednesday? Like the big project right now? I don't even. I'm trying to remember if you've ever talked about it. Like actually watching it. Mr. William Shamspeare. My lord, how can thy humble Shamspeare serve thee? What say you in response to the various revelations made during the summation examination? I see Wednesday every week. Haha. On Wednesday. Like right now, right? Jenna derogatory. Damn, Alyssa. So God mend me, I do solemnly swear. I recall aught of either the lamp or the pipe. But your handprints have made a tidy mess all over the wall there. How do you explain that, eh? Alyssa going for her ass. Right? I am done with this. The dignity of this great courtroom has been sullied enough already. Juror number 5. Who? Me? As I went to some pains to point out already, a print from the self-professed detective's toy has no place in a British court of law. As such, whether or not this man did indeed stand before the gas lamp with his hands against the wall remains, at this time, unestablished conjecture. You would do well to remember that.
Objection!
Objection! But the prosecution must concede that it would be extremely simple to verify. Just order the mouth of the gas... What? What? Oh. Just order the mouth of the gas pipe feeling that lamp in feeding... That's a weird sentence. Just order, and then all of these words are the subject to be examined. That's tripping my brain up. Go for anyone. I don't care. Okay. Feral. Alright. Just order the mouth of the gas pipe feeding that lamp in Mr. Shamspeare's room to be examined. If there are traces of poison there...
Objection!
Jenna chill as fuck. Yeah, she seems. Always down to chill. What appears to... with Riz. I guess, as they say now. What appears to be extremely simple is my Nipponese friend's mind. You will recall that in order to check for the presence of poison in the tea, some remnants of tea were required. I am not obsessed with feet. Jack, do not disparage me in my chat over here. Do not disparage me in my chat. Therefore, it shouldn't be beyond your wit to imagine that even if poison were to have been spread on the pipe, it would have completely evaporated by now, making any analysis impossible. Ah, I didn't think of that. In any case, counsel, I fail to see what possibly could have motivated the man to do as you describe. Why on earth would this fellow have wanted to blow air into the gas pipework where he lived? There's only one possibility I can think of. Feet horny. Stop it! Don't do this. Don't do this again. You guys are... They already derailed my stream once by insisting on talking about feet in chat. It's not happening again. Precisely whose life do you propose this man was plotting to end? Mr. Shamspear wanted to end the life of Soseki, I guess? I mean, I guess. I don't know how that's... Like, what? I think Soseki, yeah, because he was the one who was constantly, like, choking and making his gas lamp go out, and then the gas fills his room and it poisons it. The gas stove, on the other hand, could be silently extinguished by the killer without anyone noticing. I've ran those parts myself, so I know what it's like. I can tell you, trying to sleep without the stove lit is pretty much suicide. You freeze to death in no time. Mr. Garadiv, the landlord, has a large fireplace in his part of the residence, on the top floor. In other words, it wasn't the landlord, but a fellow lodger whose life Mr. Shamspear was trying to end. Bum, bum, bum. Outrageous! I'm talking, of course, about the defendant. Mr. Natsume isn't the villain in this case. He's the victim the man was trying to murder. Good gracious! So Shamspear was trying to murder Soseki, and he got poisoned trying to do so? I mean, I guess that would make sense. That would be pretty succinct. We wouldn't need to introduce, like, 20 new characters in order to figure that out. The accused is actually the aggrieved. Interesting. However, the fundamental facts of the case remain unchanged. But Soseki wasn't in his room. He was with Shamspear. There's a lot that still doesn't make sense about this. The accused is the aggressor here. What? How can you still claim that? Let us indulge your fancies for a moment and assume there was indeed poison on the mouth of the gas pipe. The question that then arises is who put it there? Who did put it there? The only logical conclusion is that the person responsible was aware of this man's trickery with the gas supply and his intent to kill. Yes, that would indeed seem logical. If the assailant were unaware, how would he or she have known to lace the end of the gas pipe with poison? So now we must ask, how could anyone have known of Mr. Shamspear's murderous designs? Dance, dance, dance. You mean to suggest... Naturally, the sole possible answer to that question couldn't be more obvious. Every time you say, like, dance, you're saying, like, dance monkey. Dance for me. Jenna, what's your favorite song? Yeah, what's your favorite song? In other words, the person who put the poison on the gas pipe in what was a clear retaliatory attack could only have been the accused, Mr. Soseki Natsume. Ah! Whatever Mr. William Shamspear may or may not have convinced you to do, have contrived to do, Jesus. He was nevertheless the victim of a potentially lethal poison attack. And the only person who could have possibly perpetrated that attack is the accused, Mr. Natsume. Right now. Right now. That question, the answer to that question changes a lot for me, too. The defense counsel's theorizing has failed to avert suspicion from the accused. Far from it. In fact, now that a clear motive for the poisoning has been successfully established, that suspicion is greater than ever. Would you not agree, my Nipponese friend? The World is Mine by Mylene Farmer. It's in French. Interesting. I mean, I haven't heard of that, but that would make sense. It's not, it's obviously... what kind of music is it? How did he manage to turn that around on me so rapidly? Mr. Naruhodo, you must respond. Otherwise, the members of the jury may very well change their... You seem like a French lover. Derogatory. Hey! Stop being mean! And this may be our last chance to gain the advantage. What advantage? Fuck the French. My god. You guys heard to say, it's in French, and then we're just like, violence, violence, violence. Well, it would seem that somebody put poison on the gas pipe in Mr. Shamspear's room, So we must name that person now and absolve Mr. Natsume of guilt. I'm not being mean, I'm just speaking the truth, plain and simple. Okay, but you didn't need to add the derogatory after. I know it might sound impossible, but if we fail to do that, I have no doubt that Mr. Natsume's fate will be sealed once and for all. As it happened, one possible culprit does come to mind. The evidence. The poison. I don't know who the culprit is. I don't know who it is. No, I did. Derogatory. Jenna, do you have any, like, favorite games? I mean, I know you said you have a Switch. You don't use it much. The prosecution calls for the jury to consider their leanings again. I trust you'll make the correct choice this time, Mr. Foreman. What?
Objection.
Oh, don't you worry. Alright, what's happening? There is one other person who I believe could have been involved in all this. The true culprit of this crime. The true culprit? A term found only in second-rate novels featuring third-rate great detectives. My Nipponi's friend. But why not? I played Breath of the Wild a bit and liked it. Also Animal Crossing. That makes sense. Animal Crossing is a very chill game. I have not finished Breath of the Wild. I mean, I've played a decent amount, but... Tell us, my learned Nipponese friend, what is your latest for Animal Crossing? Animal Crossing. Why? Jenna, do you like Raymond from Animal Crossing? Oh, that's a great question. Tell us, my learned Nipponese friend, what is your latest theory? Who is the so-called true culprit of this crime? Oh, God, I don't know, dude. Who? The funny cat. Oh, my God. Coleman loves Raymond. Okay, you guys are, I like that you guys, you see, you guys know me, you guys are referring to me by my, like, real name. That's not my Twitch name. I mean, I don't care. It's just funny, because it's like, whoever this is, ooh, I don't know. Whoever Coleman is. What am I, so the so-called true culprit of this crime. I need to review the logs. One possible culprit comes to mind. Name the true culprit. Somebody put poison on the gas pipe in Mr. Shamspeare's room. Doxing you to Jenna Ortega. Yeah, no, that's fair. It's a long name. You're good. You're good. I don't mind it. I don't mind Jenna Ortega knowing my name. Fuck Batman. Cuck Batman. Okay. Fuck Chuck. Chuck's sucking fuck. Okay, we're gonna. How did he manage to turn that around on me so rapidly? I am not crazy. The evidence, the person. It's all pointing to a particular person now. Prosecution calls for the jury to consider their leanings again. Okay. One other person who I believe could have been involved in all this. Okay. It's not the gas company lady. This guy's dead. The poison, derogatory. You can't just add derogatory after random words! Okay, it's not... Could it be you? Shamspear, Garadib. I don't know why John Garadib would have any motive. Adron B. Meterman? He was there. But why would he... Like, why would he know anything about the... Maybe she would, but she was in the hospital. When would she have had time to go do this? She was in the hospital. I'm gonna try her, but I am not sure. The name of the person responsible is Miss Olive Green. Miss Olive Green! Miss Olive Green! I do feel as though I've heard that name in the recent past, Counsel, but I don't recall where. Oh, that would be sad if she's the murderer, because that would just add it to the list of, like, all the great Ace Attorney killers are, like, nice people who got put in bad situations. Most of them. And then that, or they're like, yeah, they're all, like, tragic. So I hope it's not her. The victim in the recent case of stabbing on Briar Road. An incident for which Mr. Natsume was arrested, I hasten to add. Oh, of course, yes, Miss Green. She was left comatose for some. McGilded was innocent, right? Like all the like actually evil people we go after tend to like get out of their crimes, and end up facing justice in less than savory ways, which I think is interesting. Interesting commentary there. I hardly need to remind the court that Mr. Shamspeare's poisoning took place 3 days ago. Given that the woman was lying comatose in a hospital in a hospital bed at the time, she appears to have a rather fine alibi. True. Yeah, okay, but they're not giving us a strike for this. I'm invested at this point. Well, it's good. This game's good. I mean, if you want to get like a bigger picture of the story, you should. The game is on Switch. If you want to get, it's probably a good game to. I feel like it would be a good game to just like I played the other Ace Attorney games on my 3DS back when I had that, and I would play that like while I was out and about working on things. Emma talks about them a lot. I mean, that is she like is she into that like gaming? I know she's into like gaming stuff. I've heard her. I've seen interviews. I'm a fan of Wednesday, so I've seen interviews and stuff. I've seen her talk about games. He is stumbling. I'm not stumbling, sir. I'm engaging in a conversation about Ace Attorney. The defense requests that she be brought to the witness stand. Tell me, Mr. Shamspeare. My lord, pray what be thy bid. You people are not being very good wingmen right now. I'll tell you that right now. Remove you from my chat. I control the chat. I can delete your messages. Judging by the look on Mr. Shamspeare's face, I think perhaps he genuinely doesn't know her. At least, not by name. Green. Miss Green. Yeah, but I feel like if Shamspeare was involved in the death of... I'm being facetious. He wants your Kucha Magucha. Stop talking! That doesn't mean anything. Gaslighting Jenna to get her to like you. What? SMH. What? I am not gaslighting anyone. As the voice of Her Majesty's prosecution here, I adhere to my word. We will see my learned Nipponese friend's farce through its conclusion. I was gonna say, if Shamspeare had something to do with the death of Olive Green's boyfriend, then she would have a motive to try and kill him. You're funny, Jack, lol. I agree, he is funny. I know. Prosecution requests a short recess, my lord, in order to subpoena the witness and bring her here. Yes, Miss Olive Green. Indeed, my lord. 1 hour should be sufficient. I know, with Riz. I think the Riz is implied when you respond with, when you respond to, if somebody says you're funny and you respond with, I know. There's always some Riz there. He's so funny, derogatory. Alyssa, you're being like the shoulder devil to like cancel out. Like you so funny. Like I'm having, like there's me, streamer, and then there's Jenna in the chat, and then there's you guys are like little like shoulder devil shoulder angels on my shoulder, just being like blah, 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 with Riz, derogatory, with Riz, like. The defense has made a most extraordinary accusation, I must say. But at the present time, I feel the prosecution's argument remains largely uncontested. Accordingly, I'm afraid that the defendant and his culpability remain the sole subject of this court's attention. Thank you, counsels. We reconvene in 1 hour. Court is adjourned. Well, it's cool that Emma has played this game. Is she the one who told you about the stream? Playing along again. Is she the one who told you about the stream? I'm very curious how she found it. Coleman. Shut. What are you saying right now? I'm playing. I'm gonna drop the bit. Thank you. Thank you. Who is doing the bit? Who's doing the bit? I am Jack. Oh my god. So, okay. Jack, I'll say this. I figured it was somebody bidding. I was playing along, but I figured it was somebody bidding. I didn't think it was you. I thought it was somebody else. You convinced me that it wasn't you. I'll tell you that much. Jubilant, jumping jacks. And you, like, you did enough of your research to, like, you did enough of your research to have me playing it, like, cautiously. Playing the game cautiously. Not, like, going ham on you. Like, you're fake, you're a lie. Like, I was like, you did it well enough that I was like, I'll play along. I don't think this is her, but I'll play along. Did you make another account for that, or are you using, like, an old one? Because I clicked on the account profile, just out of, like, curiosity, and it was like, it said, like, last live 2016. So this is not a, like, brand new account. Did you just use an old account and, like, change the name? Ah, good morning, my dear fellows. Ugh, Herlock Sholmes. Coleman. I'm gonna drop the bit. I am Jack Corey. Oh my god, that's funny. Oh, Mr. Sholmes, you came. How wonderful. I'm still gonna title the YouTube video, Jenna Ortega in chat? Question mark. Because... Good morning, he says, when it's very nearly time for a luncheon. Your scorn is written clearly across your faces. Nobody said or thought anything of the sort. Zam, bit over. Okay, how many of you guys were in on this bit? Did you tell anybody about this? The truth is, I was determined that today would be the day. A sleep seduced me last night, I thought. Probably not, but it's still funny. Yeah, you little trickster. I definitely thought it was someone else besides you playing along with this bit. You only told Alyssa. That makes sense. I was wondering why she was here. I was wondering why Alyssa was in this stream in the first place. Tomorrow, for once, I shall not oversleep. I'll rise early and be present in court to support my companions. Are we recessing for a whole day again? Okay. Cool, I guess. He said the court was adjourned, but I didn't realize... Hold on. Let me scroll up here. I liked playing along. Yeah, no, I appreciate it. It was funny. No, just 1 hour. Okay, cool. Such spirited determination has a beauty all of its own, does it not? Oh, yes. And then I began to muse on the subject. Why do people oversleep? I queried. Why, time after time, do they make the same foolish blunder? And the answer came to me. It's so delightfully simple. People oversleep because they sleep. Well, is that not an astute insight into the matter? Dance. See, I'm disappointed that it was you, Jack, because I was hoping it was, because if it had been somebody else, you know, even if it's somebody else that you got to engage with the bit, or somebody else from the server, it's still like an additional person to chat with in the Twitch chat. An additional viewer to talk to besides you. But it's just you on it says it's just you on another account, kind of negates that. What is he talking about? Upon which realization I attempted an experiment. I didn't sleep a wink all night. I'm so sorry. You're good. It was funny. And the results. My first night, I was exhausted and began to be assailed by fits of drowsiness. Sholmes. He was like, I'm not gonna oversleep. But wait, why do people oversleep? They oversleep because I'm gonna perform an experiment. I'm not gonna sleep at all. So ADD. Oh my god, I love this man. If only Jenna could have been here to see Herlock Sholmes upon his arrival. And so the conclusion of last night's experiment is this. A good night's sleep is quite simply essential. Yes, I think most of us probably knew that already. What others presuppose, I prove by experimentation. That, my dear fellow, is the scientific method. Okay, She will love you one day. Oh my God. See, okay, I was sus of you because every time I asked Jenna a question about, oh, do you watch Twitch all that often? How'd you find the stream? Who recommended you the stream? Blah, 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 blah. You were like, silent. She, quote unquote, was silent. But then when I asked, like, video game questions or whatever, you were like, oh, here's an answer. And the answers were realistic enough that I was like, I'll keep engaging with this. This isn't too suspicious. They were realistic enough that they could be real, but vague enough that they could very much be fake. Ah, yes, and one more thing. Do you remember this? Ah! Yes. Poison. She had poison at the hospital. Fuck you. What? What? What do you mean? Wait, why fuck you? What did I say? It was a laborious task, and as the bottle was near empty. But such inconveniences do not hinder shoals. I managed to confirm that it contained strychnine. So I was right. I am great at deception. Okay. You're a master of deception. Perhaps. Okay, to be fair, you were coming at me with a very, like, a very, a wild premise that would be very hard. I don't think I ever could have I would not have believed that was actually Jenna Ortega in my Twitch chat unless I got, like, photographic evidence. Like, yes, I am this person. Snaps selfie. Sends, like, I would, like, there's no, why would I believe that otherwise? If I was a streamer with more viewers, you could pull that prank on me a little easier. It's like, oh, she found me through the other cursed menace stream. Or her friends did, and they thought it was funny, and they sent the link to her. It's like, it's almost convincing. I shall leave the bottle in your care now, but licking the inside of the neck is not recommended. Did you lick the inside of the... Okay. Could I have a word? Could I have a word? It's this guy. Gregson, how good of you to come. Forget it. Excuse me. Wait a minute, Inspector. But it was. It was a good con. It was a good con. Did you have to, like, look up Wednesday actors? Because you haven't watched the show, have you? Don't wish to make a nuisance of myself. From the look on your face, I'd say it's someone else who you think is making a nuisance of himself. Why? I've drank, like, my entire drink. I'm gonna go refill it real quickly while you answer my question. Answer me! Hello, I'm back. You didn't answer my question! Have you actually watched Wednesday? Do you actually know the, like, actors' names? Because that's what got me to even, like, slightly buy into it. Before I was like, oh, Piss Family doing a bit. Then you said that, and I'm like, okay, well, whoever's doing this is putting in effort, so I'll play along. My dear Inspector, please, speak freely. Pretend I'm not here. Believe me, if I could do that, I also got myself some pretzel rods, so I can smack on them like how he smacks on his chips. I love props. Believe me, if I could do that, life would be a whole lot simpler for me. Do you have the results, Inspector, of the investigation of Mr. Shamspeare's room? Oh, not yet. Shouldn't be long now, though. Nah, me about something else. That dead convict, actually. The man from the Selden Roger. A man by the name of, yes, Selden. I went through the archives of the yard and dug out the fellow's files. Something in there that, well, it caught my eye. Something caught your eye? What, Inspector? What? I've copied out the relevant parts for you. You can read it for yourselves. Thank you. It's helping us out. Let me look at these documents. Scotland Yard's file. Investigative findings related to Selden. 18 counts of burglary, 6 counts of suspected murder. Died of natural causes whilst in prison. His final moments witnessed only by his cellmate. that affect Peter Chad Baldy's legacy? Stop talking about Peter Chad Baldy. Talk to me about what I want to talk to you. Manchester's Strange Ways Prison announced the death of I really did. You did get me pretty good. I mean, you didn't completely convince me. I'd have to be really gullible to be completely convinced. I was convinced that it was not you on a second account, and that made it easier. It's like, okay, it's like someone else. Now I'm just kind of like, okay, cool. What was it? And then, yeah. So I'm just like thinking about how my, like, behavior changed. I feel bad. Why? It was funny. I don't... No, it was funny. It was funny. Like, I just didn't expect it. It's funny how my behavior changed, because I thought I was interacting with, like, I'm interacting with you, I'm interacting with Alicia, and then I'm interacting with someone else. Some vague someone else. Like, that's the weird, that's why you were like, you were saying, like, oh, he wants it to be real so bad. Like, I wish I knew you wanted me. I want it to be, like, you were saying he wants it to be real so bad. Not really. I kind of just want it. It's just awkward to talk to a chatter and be like, I don't really know who I'm talking to. Like, asking the chatter questions to try to, like, I don't know. Before his capital punishment, alerted by the shouts of his fellow cellmate. Okay, who is his cellmate? I feel like that's important. Also, there's unrecovered money. There's unrecovered One Piece, which encourages my theory that the dude left some loot in his old apartment, like, after being arrested. These documents include the details that were in the newspaper cutting we found in Mr. Shamspeare's room. I'll rearrange everything in the court record so we don't have duplicate information. I'm glad she did that after I checked the court record. Or maybe it was already rearranged. I don't know. Well, you're the ones who turned up the clue in the first place, aren't you? I'm just making sure things get handled in the proper fashion. Oh, Scotland Yard's workings are so wonderful. Indeed, my dear Philip. And the inspector here is a shining diamond in its crown. A shining diamond in the rough, maybe. Damn, A-cab. Look, I just don't want to be beholden to a lawyer, that's all. Counsel for the defense and the defendant. Alright, back to trial. Let's go. I wish I knew you wanted me. I shall leave you then. I will be listening with interest from the public gallery. Not nodding off at all. Certainly not. Me when I stay up all night scrolling social media, scrolling TikTok. I haven't done that yet, but I'm finally getting too sucked into TikTok. Does not help. The Jenna Ortega TikToks have mostly left my feed, which is good. Miss Olive Green and Mr. William Shakespeare. This is going to be the final battle. I feel bad, like, Miss Olive Green literally tried to, like, drink the poison. Like, drink poison last stream. I feel bad, like, going after her for this. Tragic. It's like, this is a weird, there's a theme in this Ace Attorney game, in Great Ace Attorney, of the bad guys getting away with shit, and the good guys getting caught once they finally do one bad thing, you know? Before the recess, we heard a most startling accusation from the defense. Namely, that the victim of the case we heard here only a few days ago was the true perpetrator of this incident. A reckless, rash, and prejudiced charge of wrongdoing, in my opinion, my lord. However, the prosecution has tried to extend every courtesy to this amateur newcomer from dubious eastern shores. Thank you for the backhanded consideration. A rather cold assessment from the honorable British prosecutor, I must say. So, Lord Van Zeeks, is the new witness present and ready to take the stand? Ready and waiting in the witness's antechamber, my lord. Very well. Bailiff, bring the witnesses in. Oh, God. How many are there? Just the two? Okay, good. Witnesses, state your names and occupations for the court, please. William Shakespeare, my liege. For mine occupation I can say only that I be a tragic victim to be pitied. Currently unemployed, in other words. I'm Olive Green. I'm a fledgling artist. Well, no. Not a fledgling, really. A hopeless failure is too weak-spirited to admit she has no talent, I suppose. Also currently unemployed, in other words. What a coterie. Mr. Shakespeare. My lord, I am thy humble servant. I'm afraid that you are no longer merely the victim in this affair. The possibility has been raised that you are in fact the assailant, intent on taking the life of your fellow ledger. The part you've played in this whole business will be thoroughly scrutinized, I assure you. I would for naught else, my lord. And Miss Green. Yes? You are aware of the reason you've been summoned to this courtroom today, I presume? Yes. That's funny. He said I poisoned this ridiculous buffoon. And? Do you accept the charge, Miss Green? I don't know anything about that. And I don't know anything about this man, either. Come, lady, die to live. Verily, I know not thy prickly, pea-pigmented personage. Very well, let us proceed with the matter at hand. That being to ascertain whether or not Miss Green has any involvement in this affair. It's all very strange. Very strange indeed. I barely ever go to the East End anyway. So happens that I passed by that neighborhood 6 days ago, that's all. And on the night that this man was poisoned, I was still in hospital, fighting for my life. Yes, having been unfortunately caught up in the incident on the street outside the GAA2 house. So the victim of Case 4 of the last game is now potentially the killer, in this case, attempted killer, of a guy who was also attempting to kill another guy. This is such a complicated web of stuff. I was struck in the middle of the back by a knife through no fault of my own, and now I'm under suspicion. What other irrelevant things might I be suspected of? It's all very disturbing. Your energies may be better spent worrying about random knife attacks, I fear, Miss Green. At this point in time, all that appears to connect you with Mr. Shakespeare's lodgings is the Briar Road incident of 6 days ago. That's why we would like you to testify formally now about exactly what happened. Oh no! The incident 6 days ago? You mean you want me to relive that awful incident? Unfortunately, yes. Please tell the court what happened that day. Of course, we will be interested to hear from you about your movements that day too, Mr. Shakespeare. Eh? But what happened 6 days ago has nothing to do with me being poisoned. Sus. That's a bit sussy. Let us proceed then. The witness will present their formal testimony to the court on the subject of the incident that took place on Briar Road the evening of the 17th of February. Send something in. Talk in the chat more, so when I look over, the first thing I see isn't always the I wish I knew you wanted me song. It was 6 days ago, at about 5 p.m. I was walking along in the snow when I was suddenly stabbed in the back. Coincidentally, it happened to be just outside the house where the men in this case have their lodgings. I was at the tavern on the eve of which thou speakest, for which I had bespoke my supper. He was at the tavern, huh? What tavern? Wasn't she headed to the tavern? It was the first time I'd been in the area. I had a little matter to attend to, that's all. Anyway, I was admitted straight to the hospital. Yes, a second incident inside a week at what I believe to be aptly described as the haunted lodgings. One can only presume this is a most unfortunate coincidence. Meanwhile, you say you were not in your room, Mr. Shamspeare? 'Twas the following morn when I did awaken that I learned of the dire events. Mary, what a commotion did the officers of the law make on the floor above mine? When Soseki-san was arrested for murder. As suspected, there was nothing connecting these two witnesses but happenstance. It's true, it does seem as though they're unrelated at first glance, but I'm not so sure. There's something lurking in the shadows here, yeah. She's connected to the previous tenant of the second floor room, and he's possibly connected to the previous tenant. I think Shamspeare may be Selden Rogers' cellmate. Okay, this is accurate. I see no. They happen to be just out. Coincidentally. Okay, I want to. What tavern were you at? I'm curious. I feel like this could be relevant. 'Twas the Slug and Salad where I did tarry. 'Tis a jewel in the East End. Oh my god, the profile pic of him. Oh, he's doing that stupid face. But yeah, the Slug and Salad. That's where she was headed. That's where she was going. And a little unexpected, I feel. What do you mean, Lord Von Seeks? The Slug and Salad offers unusually fine dining. For the locality, at least. Not an establishment you'd expect to be patronized by a man with not even a crumb of bread in his room. It's true. The menu lists premium crust of bread and glasses of water. In different levels of cloudiness. What? I would have expected Grub's Grubbery. Grub's Grubbery. That's Jack. That's like you naming like, oh, what D&D restaurant what restaurant can we go to in your D&D town? That's not the Biggie Piggy. I don't know, Grub's Grubbery. Watery soap and mushy peas, or rather, soupy water and pea-like mush. Ooh. All equally appetizing. I just wanted to try some water in a different pub for once. What's wrong with that? How different can water really be? Water can be very different. The specific reason why he would go to that establishment. Yeah. I think we have some evidence. See, now, I need to, like, see new chat messages. Fake Jenna, save me from the I wish I knew you wanted me song. Okay, wait, I actually have a question. The song answer, the like, oh, what was it, like, the world is mine in French? Is that a song that you've actually been listening to, Jack? Where did you get that from? You pulled that one, like, out of your, like, from deep out of your ass. Where did you get that? Where'd you get that one? Yes, sire? On the day in question, it is not the case that you visited the Slug and Salad, a place you don't normally patronize, for a very particular... Is it not the case? It is the case. I don't know what you're talking about. Pray, if thou hast some purpose, speakest! Very well. I will present the court with evidence. Evidence that explains why you had to be at the Slug and Salad that day. Do I actually have that evidence? Let's check. Let's examine this bottle real quick. There's like nothing to click on in here. So this is the poison we've been hearing so much about. Strychnine. There are a few remnants on the bottom of the bottle here. Look. You must be tempted to try it. Of course not. As long as we don't lose this trial. No. Even if we lose the trial... No! We mustn't lose the trial in the first place, Mr. Naruhodo! Alright. Okay, so that's all I'm gonna get out of that. He has gone silent. Do I have any actual evidence backing up the Slug and Salad thing? Because I know that's where... maybe the letter.
Take that!
Oh, good Horatio. There are more things in heaven and earth than are dreamt of in your philosophy. Be it a line from the great Shakespeare or from this Mr. Shamspeare, the message is the same. My learned Nipponese friend is wide of the mark. Okay. I think maybe we don't have... let's press some more of the statements and see if we can't get a piece of evidence that more directly, like, helps us here. Like, I want to press this one. Get her to talk more about the little matter she had to attend to. What little matter, Miss Green? Please elaborate. It was nothing, really. It's not worth mentioning. If you remember, you mentioned to us yesterday at the hospital. It was related to the card you were. Miss Green. She hid something from memory, I believe. I believe the card contained a note that read, I have information regarding the death of Duncan Ross. Well, what does that matter? This has nothing to do with Duncan, and I heard him go, what? So, we're gonna pursue that last question. What? Mr. Shamspeare, do you have something to share with the court? To be or not to be? That is the question. Ah, pray forgive me. The great bard's words springeth from within me with ne'er thought. Don't tell me it's because you're possessed by Shakespeare's spirit, right? Hearing Miss Green's words a moment ago seemed to make you think of something. Something of relevance, perhaps? Well, nay, sire, it was nothing at all. Presumably you know the name, though. Mr. Duncan Ross, I mean. After all, you were both lodgers in the same house. I would it was so, but sadly, nay. Lodging be a lonely occupation, sire. My lodging fellows be rarely known to me. So you haven't heard of him, even though he passed away in the room just one floor above you. Miss Green? Me, my lord? Have I done something wrong? The card that was mentioned before, containing the note. Do you have it upon your person? I do, yes, but I don't need it anymore. In fact, I should throw it away, really. Before you dispose... Okay, there's the evidence I need. Alright. That's what links Mr. Shamspeare and Miss Green. Duncan Ross. No, I didn't mean to do that. Oh, Mr. Naruhodo, you pursued Mr. Shamspeare wonderfully there. We have a new clue at last. Now I need to pull off a really insightful objection. Let's go! That was horrible. Why did I just sniffed and did a weird thing. I don't know why I did that. Okay, let's press this one again, and now we actually have evidence about the slug and salad, so... I'm still just thinking about that bit of trickery you pulled on me. That bit of trickery Jack pulled on me earlier. What am I doing? What is happening? Stream manager. Oh. We've definitely lost some viewers. He may not even be here anymore. That might be why he hasn't responded to any of my questions. For some reason, my viewer count on my mobile app is not updating. That's fine. Mr. Shamspeare. Yes, sire? On the day in question, it is not the case that you... Is it not the case? I read this already. Very well, I will present you evidence. The new evidence! The letter! Hold on. Okay, this shape matches the shape of the thing that was in Shamspeare's apartment. The letter piece. This is definitely... Miss Green strikes me as the type to open correspondence more neatly than that. Ah. The way the envelope is torn. I'm almost sure I've seen the exact shape somewhere else. Yep. Try to match them up. Oh! I wish I knew you wanted me! Yeah, we're back to 3 viewers. This torn off end of the envelope. What? No, that's an envelope. Let's go! Envelope lore unlocked! I believe this card reveals the answer. But no, Miss Green's card, you mean. The green envelope. In a green envelope. Ha ha ha. No, that's an envelope. I have information regarding the death of Duncan Ross. Come to the Slug and Salad on Briar Road at 5 p.m. on the 17th. Don't tell anybody else about this letter or the meeting. It is a matter of utmost importance. Mr. Shamspeare, your actions on the afternoon of Miss Green's stabbing are exactly as described in this note. Ah! Personally, I find it hard to believe that's a coincidence. Don't you, Mr. Shamspeare? Well, excuse me. Can I say something? Yes, Miss Green. That card was delivered to me. It doesn't have anything to do with this odd man, does it? Well, would you think so, yes, but it's hard to believe that it's merely... My lord, may I? May you what, Miss Green? I'd like to make something very clear about that card. Very well, then. You may amend your testimony to include details about that particular note. This note was delivered to me at my address. It's nothing to do with the odd man next to me here. But that's not true, is it? Because I've got the other half of the envelope. I'm being so annoying.
Objection.
Never mind. The day before the incident, exactly 1 week ago now, this note was delivered to your address. And upon carrying out the instructions in the note, you found yourself in hospital. Yes, I did. It's terrible, everything that happened to me. But yes, it is terrible. If it's all true. That is. What do you mean? Miss Green, have a look at this, please. It's the torn off end of an envelope. Oh, is it? And it so happens that it fits together perfectly with the envelope of the note you received. Where did you find that? In Mr. Shamspeare's room. Oh, in my room? What I miss? Well, you missed Jack making a, Jenna Ortega Twitch account and pretending to be her for like an hour. So that was funny. Sussy Shamspeare is up to his sussy tricks again. And, we think that he was trying to kill Soseki, and in the process he was out-schemed by, Miss Olive Green, the victim from the 4th case of the last game, who wants to kill him, potentially, because he potentially killed her. Damn, I missed epic feet, girl. Okay. Come to the Slug and Salad on Briar Road at 5 p.m. on the 17th. And so that's exactly where you went. So this guy, it's this long, like, timeline of events. Let me ask you again, Mr. Shamspeare. You already knew about this note, didn't you? And you, Miss Green. What did I do? As this torn-off end of the envelope proves, the note was originally in Mr. Shamspeare's room. So how is it that it came to be in your possession? I don't have the first idea. I'm just a fledgling artist after all. There is only one explanation. You broke into Mr. Shamspeare's room and stole it. Wait, what? Wait, did Shamspeare write the... I was under the impression that Shamspeare wrote the note to her saying, meet me at the Slug and Salad Tavern at 5 p.m. for, like, a secret meeting, but... maybe not. Maybe there's a third player. But why would Shamspeare want information about Duncan Ross's killer? Duncan Ross was Olive Green's fiancé. She would be the one to want information about his killer. Why would Shamspeare care? I assumed Shamspeare was his killer. You did what? Sorry, thou hast what? Thou were in my room? What on earth? What do you want with me? It would seem that both witnesses need to testify again. Miss Green. Yes, Scary Man? Whilst you have the court's sympathy, I'm sure, for the suffering you have endured in recent events, anyone found to be giving false testimony in a court of law will be duly punished. Please bear that in mind. Don't go after Shamspeare for giving false testimony. Go after her. Okay. Very well then, witness. We'll give formal testimony again now. on the subject of this curious anomaly regarding the note Miss Green claims to have received. The anomaly of the note. I do remember now. 'Twas a week ago, peradventure, that note was delivered unto me. On the day which therein I did tarry a long hour at the Slug and Salad, so it was written to him. Interesting. Thereafter, on the evening I shared the company of the Japanese fellow, I did see the note had vanished. I don't know what you mean. You think I snuck into this man's room, do you? Why would I? I can point out the villain here. And as for that torn-off piece of envelope, I don't know anything about it. Oh, she's panicking. I love her painting the red arrow on her thing to, like, point at him. You now claim to have received this letter, do you, Mr. Shamspeare? Faith, 'tis so, my lord. And I would swear to have set it upon the table in my humble lodging. So he was lying, too. He said he didn't know anything about a Duncan Ross. Sussy, sussy, sussy! Yet, it is clear to me now that since I returned from the tavern that night, I have not laid eyes upon it. Well, that being the case, young lady, it would appear that your testimony was a lie. Is that what you think? How unfair of you to think I'm the one lying. I beg your pardon? I'm just a fledgling artist, as I said, and fledgling artists don't lie. That note was delivered to me at my address, besides. Why didn't the envelope have an address on it? That would have, like, helped drastically. If there was, like, postage stamps or an address or something. We all know who the liar around here is. That's sussy Shamspeare. This part of the envelope was, without question, found in Mr. Shamspeare's room. I don't see why I should explain. Sorry. I'm a fledgling artist. My job here is just to... It's your job to give the explanations and the proofs. You, the fledgling lawyer. Okay, she's getting a little aggressive. Alright. Evidently, my learned friend's cross-examination is our only hope of learning the truth. Well, counsel? I'm ready, my boy. I like that even the prosecutor's like, yeah, these two are lying. Like, figure it out. Miss Green clearly did break into Shamspeare's room. There can be no question of that. And that's how she acquired the note. She broke into the room, she took the note, and she poisoned the gas. And that was like... And then she left his room and immediately got stabbed in the back by Joan Garrett. And that's how she committed this murder, despite being in the hospital when it... That's why she was able to poison him. The anomaly of the note. But how would she know about, like, his gas stuff? Like, I don't... A week ago, peradventure, that note was delivered to me. And can you shed any light on the contents of the note at all? Nay, sire, 'tis as strange to me as a foreign tongue, even with a knowledge of literature as great. Oh, so he's claiming he doesn't know anything about the contents of the note. Interesting. But I don't... He's still claiming he doesn't know Duncan Ross. Interesting. Maybe he genuinely doesn't know the name of the neighbor upstairs. But he followed the note. Marry, naught will have the better of me, sire, save for the lure of curiosity. So 'tis true, I was compelled by mine own eager heart to betake myself into the tavern. Yet in the end, my curiosity was not satiated. On the day writ therein, I did tarry a long hour at the Slug and Salad, and yet nobody came. What am I hearing right now? Oh, it's the sink out in the kitchen. Okay. It's like, is that a storm cloud? That's the loudest freaking storm cloud ever to get through my, like, noise-canceling headphones. Really? What are we talking about? In truth, when thou asked whether nobody appeared, I did suddenly recall. Really? Do you mean to tell the court that somebody did appear after all? I was not alone that night at the Slug and Salad, my lord, no. It is returning to me now. I did treat my lips to almost clear water, and mine innards to a premium crust of bread. And all around me danced a great many companions! Oh, da 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 dee, do, 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 do. What do you mean? Flies, sire, flies! Good lord! Oh, he's not even talking about other patrons, he's just talking about flies. In the name of Beelzebub, what were they? Fairies, perchance, from a midsummer night's dream. come to taunt me. When a tornado comes in, he thinks it's a... At Chuck Batman, when a tornado comes in, he thinks it's a sink. Nah, dude. Well, that's why I lifted up my headphones to like, okay, what am I hearing right now? Because it did sound like a storm. And it has been, I mean, I don't know if, has it been like frozen over? Like, have you been hitting a cold patch where you are right now? Because here it's like, it's been frozen for days. Well, a couple days, but my siblings are home from school basically the whole week. I can't help thinking that the flies ought to choose something more wholesome to buzz around. I'm gonna turn the game volume down a little bit. Is that wrong of me? Alright, well that was useless. Thereafter, get this out of here. Thereafter, on the evening, I shared the company of the Japanese fellow. Thereafter. So he noticed the note vanished. Such idle thoughts now occupy my mind. I am busy with going. In other words, you didn't notice. So he didn't notice the letter was gone until Soseki showed up? That seems weird. Such idle thoughts now occupy my mind. I am busied with greater ideas. Clearly then, she could not have been stealing things from Mr. Shamspeare's room. It's not cold, but it gets cold late at night. Yeah, fair. Has it been? Have you been in a cold stretch lately? I mean it's winter, so I guess, but like, it's been icy here. Yes, of course. It's all some sort of misunderstanding, isn't it, Mr. Prosecutor, sir? You have so far failed to give a satisfactory explanation as to how you came by the note. Ah! I am not here to advocate for your defense, madam. I will not tolerate inconsistencies in your story. You would do well to remember that. We got down to 30s in it. I won't have that. Oh, okay. Well, you're not having the big freeze. What's Lord Von Zeke's getting at? Gosh, stuck into this now. See, the note has vanished. Don't know what you mean. You think I snuck into this man's room? I don't know anything about it. Hold on. Check this.
Hold it!
It seems that this note was actually delivered to Mr. Shamspeare about 1 week ago. Oh, does it? For some reason, it ended up in your possession. Can't think of any way that could have happened except for you breaking into Shamspeare's lodgings. But for what reason would the witness have done that? I won't deny that Miss Green's possession of the note would appear to defy logic. However, until and unless her involvement in this case can be proven in some other way, any further pursuit of this note is meaningless. Miss Green could only have come into possession of the note by stealing it from Mr. Shamspeare's room, and yet there's no obvious reason why. So maybe we need to find a reason? We're close now. I can feel it. We're so close to a breakthrough. And maybe we present the reason on this last statement. It's like, that torn off piece of envelope, I don't know anything about it, but she does know something about it, because she does have a reason to have taken the note. Maybe her connection to Duncan Ross? But that doesn't, the connection is already established in the note. Wait, no it's not, because her connection to Duncan Ross, maybe this piece of evidence establishes it? No, because this just shows John Garrett with a nondescript young man. It doesn't. I'm gonna try presenting this anyway. I don't. I'm not. This is not a copy. The witness's last name. I believe. Okay, yeah. That's not right. Indeed. Okay. Put out the villain here. Okay, let's try pressing this one. So don't want to tell the court the truth about the letter. I'm a fledgling artist, remember? Artists are nearly always introverted characters. Introverted? Fie! This fledgling doth readily cast aspirations about my nature. Yeah, actors are not introvert, usually. Some can be. Yet I am an angel, a seraph. Birds do harmonize with my song. The wind doth frolic on my wing. Oh, pity, wherefore dost thou accuse once a pure of heart, ample woman? Pure of heart? I don't think so. Even a fledgling like me can see you're just a failure. Tragedy! Thou shalt not know the true heart of an artist until thine instruction hereafter by death. Oh, the days! Oh, the years! Alas, to alighten thee, thou must wait so long and in vain. Mr. Naruhodo, interject with some clever remark. I'm no Shakespeare. I'm not a fledgling artist. I, the streamer, am, kind of. My art is evidence. Okay. Two or more or less foregone conclusions lead me to one terrifying conclusion. The outcome of this cross-examination, what do I present, though? A week ago, Terry, a long hour. I've pressed all the statements, so there must be something I can present. I snuck into this room from out. There's a villain here. So they're thrown off a piece of envelope, I don't know anything about it. That's not useful. This is all like old evidence. Um, 18 counts of burglary, 6 counts of suspected murder. That's definitely for later. As for that torn off piece of the envelope, I don't know anything about it. But what would her reason be? Why would I? To try and poison him? With the strychnine?
Objection.
Okay, there we go. Yesterday, at the hospital, we saw you with this bottle, and though the contents spilt during the course of our meeting, a small quantity remained. Ah! According to the defense's independent analysis, Mr. Sholmes' chemistry said, the liquid that was still in the bottle was identified as strychnine. What? Strychnine? The very same poison that affected Mr. Shamspeare. Oh! Miss Green, you broke into this man's lodgings for one reason and one reason alone. To cover the end of the pipe that feeds the gas lamp in Mr. Shamspeare's room with poison. Look at his face. I like that Shamspeare is kind of genuinely clueless about this. Like, him accusing Soseki of poisoning him is honestly, like, he genuinely has no idea what happened. He's like, I guess Soseki must have poisoned me with the tea, and, you know, even if he didn't, that's a good way to get him out of the apartment that I clearly want him out of, because I was trying to kill him. So that it achieves the same effect. Can this be? You broke into my room to... Yeah, like, he has no idea what's going on here. I assumed the criminal was going to be some criminal connection of Shamspeare's somehow, not a poor fledgling artist trying to get revenge. Very tragic. Yeah, assuming it is her. Which, you know, it is at this point. The person who attempted to take Mr. Shamspeare's life with poison was you, Olive Green. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Order! Order! Why was she allowed to bring, like, an easel and painting equipment into the courtroom? Who let her bring that in? Counsel, are you seriously suggesting this woman put poison on the end of the gas pipe with intent to kill? Yes, my lord. But if Miss Green did indeed set this odious trap 6 days ago, and the victim had put his mouth to the pipe that very evening as expected, The attempted murder didn't happen 6 days ago because Soseki has been in jail the whole time for the attempted murder of Olive Green. There is an attempted murder triangle happening here between Soseki, Shamspear, and Olive Green. And Soseki's completely innocent in it. Perhaps not, my lord. I beg your pardon? There was a significant police presence in the area that evening, on account of the incident on Briar Road. Local residents were being interviewed throughout the night as part of the ongoing inquiry. A circumspect criminal would likely have chosen not to carry out any wrongdoing at that time. Oh yeah, that's the other thing too. Street's been swarming with cops for the last week. Lord Von Zeeks. And of course, the following morning, there was more activity at Mr. Shamspear's address. Us. And Mr. Natsume being arrested, and so then Mr. Natsume was not in his room. Yeah. Makes total sense. But once Mr. Natsume had been arrested, his room was under constant surveillance by the police. In the circumstances... So, you know, Soseki thought he was cursed, but if anything, this entire... Soseki's arrest for the first murder saved his life from an attempted second murder. Like, Soseki Gaming. He's doing well. His intended victim being in a prison cell. With the need to tamper with the gas removed, the poison on the pipe lay dormant. And then, 3 days ago now, the situation changed again. Right. Mr. Natsume's trial, which took place here at the Old Bailey, came to an end. The trial in which the man stood accused of stabbing Miss Green in the back. It was duly acquitted. And that resulted in Mr. Natsume returning to his lodgings for the first time in 2 days. And that very night, his gas stove mysteriously went out, and Mr. Shamspear was mysteriously poisoned. In conclusion, the poison that was present on the mouth of the gas pipe had been put there in the victim's room some 4 days earlier. Mary! Because, like, he didn't even know the poison was in the pipe. This is new information to him, too. From his perspective, he tried to kill Soseki and then just, like, passed out from, like, somehow being poisoned. And so he just assumed Soseki tried to kill him. Or went along with that because it was a way to get the person that he wanted dead thrown in jail. This letter is part of a plan. She sent the letter? But why would she... Like, what? Doesn't she want information about the killer? I'm so confused. Like, how does she even know who Shamspear is? The court will recall that the note gave instructions to visit the Slug and Salad at 5 o'clock, and that the recipient should tell nobody else. The reason for those instructions are now clear. To ensure that the lodger would not be home at the stated time. To make sure I wasn't home? Exactly. While you were out, Miss Green could safely slip into your room, knowing that she wouldn't be disturbed. You mean to say... That letter was written by Miss Green, yes. And in order to cover her tracks, she took it away with her when she left. Just after she smeared poison over the mouth of the gas pipe in your room. More devious than I expected, wow. Order! Order! What do you have to say for yourself, witness? Just who are you? Why did you try to kill me? Miss Green's motive should be obvious. It's all tied up with someone whose name we've heard several times already during the course of this trial. Duncan Ross! You will share your apparent understanding with the court, please, counsel. Which person is behind the victim's motive? Duncan Ross! Duncan Ross! That's right. Before the defendant, Mr. Natsume, took up residence in the lodgings at Mr. Garradibb's, somebody else was renting the room. Mr. Duncan Ross. I knew I'd heard the name somewhere else. It was all over the papers a month ago, when the man died in strange circumstances at the haunted lodgings. That does ring a vague... Ah, of course, yes, I remember now. The young man they claimed was strangled by the convict's curse or some such. Sadly, my lord, it wasn't a curse of any kind. Nor was it Oh! So Shamspear went to the Slug and Salad because he got that letter and thought that somebody had figured out that he killed Duncan Ross. Like, that was a panic move. And then when he didn't run into anybody, he just went home and forgot about it. Okay. The man died as a result of Mr. Shamspear blowing into the gas pipe and causing gas to leak into the room. It was murder. Plain and simple. Blowing into a gas pipe to murder someone. So, what a weird murder method. Ha ha! Ha 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 ha! Well, what do you know? The world is so unfair. Curses, curious deaths. It's all people care about. If it's an interesting story they want to know, it doesn't cross their minds that real people are involved. And once they're bored, just 1 month later, once the story's lost its appeal, everyone's forgotten him. You mean you? Duncan was... Mr. Ross was Miss Green's fiancé. Fiancé? You may not have known until now who Miss Green really is, Mr. Shamspear. But she's known exactly who you are, all along. But how did she know that he used the gas to kill... You're her sworn enemy. The murderer who took the life of the man she was to marry. Marry? Miss Green, is it not the case that in order to exact revenge on Mr. Why is my foot so cold? Mr. Shamspear, you smeared poison over the end of the glass pipe. This is all quite extraordinary. Am I correct in my understanding that you now accuse both parties, counsel? Each on different counts of murder? One murder leads to another murder, leads to an attempt. One murder leads to an attempted murder, and there's also another accidental stabbing mixed in alongside. It's a whole thing. It's a whole bundle of apples. Inhaling so deeply. What is he saying? Inhaling so deeply, it appears that my fledgling learned friend has taken in a lungful of dubious gas that's causing his judgment to be clouded. What? That was a really labored analogy, dude. Why would Mr. Shamspear have wanted to kill these lodgers, as you say? You have completely failed to provide a motive to substantiate your accusation against the man. He wanted to kill them to get the treasure of the Grand Line. The One Piece. Yes, that's right, my Reaper. Mr. Reaper, my liege. I've been slighted. 'Tis lies, all lies. I deny every utterance. And you'll have to forgive me, Mr. Norihodo, sir. But I don't intend to admit to anything either. Miss Green, I'm sure you'll think I'm being very rude, but I'm not going to be sent to the gallows for the likes of this scoundrel. But you broke into the man's room. If you didn't do it to smear poison on the pipe, what was your reason? I thought I'd have a look around, that's all. Sorry? You're right, I suspected him. So I thought perhaps I might find some evidence or something in his room. That does make more sense. Because, like, why would she know that it was Shamspear who took Duncan's life and know exactly how he did it and exactly how he was going to kill the next person? Oh, vileness! Oh, villainy! Oh, tyranny! Oh, rotundity of woman! But, in any case, whenever I leave my room, I do turn the key in the lock. That whole place is falling apart. The locks on the doors are no different. Duncan showed me once how to unlock the door with some turps and a piece of wire. And this girl's more capable than I thought. Oh, awfulness! Oh, awfulness! Oh, tyranny! Oh, profanity of woman! We will consider your trespassing on some future occasion. But for now, tell the court what you found. What evidence your search revealed. Well, I spotted the note that I'd sent him lying on the floor. When I went to pick it up, I noticed something. One of the floorboards was loose, and underneath it I discovered a secret hiding place. Eh? Yes, we also discovered that hiding place. Inside we found a newspaper cutting, a photograph, and an empty tin box. Ah, yes, well the thing is, when I found it, the box wasn't empty. Ah, okay. There was something in it. Yes. This rather nice key. What are you doing with that? What the? Every ounce of color is drained from his face. Give it here! Give it to me now! It's mine. I inherited it. Inherited it from whom, Shamspear? Selden Roger, perhaps? His name is just Selden, but I fully, made it Selden Roger. The Gold Roger, the One Piece joke now. You inherited it. No, yeah, and he doesn't want to say who he inherited it from, because he was the cellmate of the Selden guy, and the Selden gave him the key to his One Piece treasure, and now the One Piece treasure is in Selden's old apartment, so Shamspear is trying to kill everyone in that apartment so we can get the loot. I know exactly what's going on. I don't know what it's for, but you took something precious from me, so I took something precious from you. So what if it means you can't open something out? I don't care. Give it back this minute. Give it to me! Calm yourself, witness! So Mr. Shamspear has tried, and in one case succeeded, to take the life of 2 lodgers now. Yes, his motive for doing so is the key to everything that happened. It's true that there appears to be no motive, at first, but considering everything we know now, I think there is actually something that could explain it. Discombobulate! I need to recall every piece of evidence we've seen, because I'm sure that I just caught a glimpse of the link that runs through all these events. The One Piece! What is it that you can say can explain the motivation for Mr. Shamspear's alleged crimes?
Take that!
It's the Selden Roger files. An official police report, is it not? The Selden file. How did you get hold of that? Selden? The now sadly deceased Mr. Ross and the defendant Mr. Natsume have only one thing linking them. The fact that they had lodgings in the same room. Well, yes, we know this, certainly. A room that was formerly occupied by Selden. Until, that is, he was arrested by Scotland Yard for his involvement in multiple burglaries. I see. And it so happens that the convict Selden left behind one very substantial mystery when he died. The some £1,000 worth of loot that he stole. Which is yet remains to be found, because it's in Soseki's apartment. It's in the apartment. 100%. It's written in his file here. £1,000 lost en route to hell. That was how the papers summed it up. And it seems that one particular fellow inmate was with the convict in his final moments. It's not hard to imagine Selden entrusting that inmate with his most closely guarded secret, the location of the stolen loot, and perhaps a key to unlock whatever container the valuables were in. Oh, you mean this key is... Mr. Shamspear, it was you, wasn't it? You were at the capital offender's side when he died, were you not? What are you talking about? 'Tis a false charge, I tell you! A false charge! The name of the inmate who was with Selden at his death isn't noted in this file, but a simple telegram to the prison where he died would quickly tell us how false the charge really is. Also, William Shamspear is probably a fake name. Whatever he was in prison under is probably something else. Why would the man be so intent on killing every subsequent occupant of the convict's lodgings? There's only one explanation for that. It was in that very room that Selden hid his loot. So, it all comes out. Do the Peter Capaldi voice. I don't know what the Peter Capaldi voice is, Jack. You better not leave the stream immediately after asking me to do a funny voice that I don't know. I don't know. It's me, Peter Capaldi. I don't know what his voice is. He's like kooky. He's a doctor. He's the Doctor Who. He's the Doctor Who. And having established all of that, Mr. Shamspear's subsequent actions start to make perfect sense. When he was let out of prison following Selden's death, he made immediately for Mr. Garradib's lodgings in the hope of renting Selden's older room. This is... pinning down the killer here has been surprisingly easy. Bro, chill. However, the retired army man was unable to offer him the accommodation of his choice, because Selden's old room had already been let to someone else, Duncan Ross. Which is why Mr. Shamspeare subsequently devised his gas-based plot to kill the occupant of the room, and when he was successful, he presumably intended to acquire about switching into the newly vacant room. However, certain jittery someone had beaten him to it. So this guy just wants the middle floor room, and other people keep renting it, and he keeps having to kill them. Insane. So you decided to use the ploy with the gas again, didn't you, Mr. Shamspeare? This time to oust Mr. Natsume. Why not use it twice? It worked so well the first time. All for one simple and avaricious reason. To get your hands on the 1,000 pounds of loot left behind by the dead convict. Ugh! You... Ugh! Ugh! Oh, that's it? We just figured it out immediately? That's it? Nobody looks like I'm gonna snuff it before they stitch me neck. Listen, I want you to have me looked. Anything to stop the coppers from getting their mitts on it. It's in the room, but I was lodging when they got me. Here, this is the key to it. Take it. I want you to have it. The one piece. I always stay one step ahead, mate. See you in hell, I guess. Shamspeare. So that's it. Usually we have to do a lot more presenting of evidence and, like, proving without a shadow of a doubt that our theory is true. Like, usually, like, Von Zeke's backed off. I probably, only like an hour ago in stream time, did I call in Olive Green for the first time, and we've already caught her. We've already caught him, and by extension, I guess we still haven't technically caught her. We don't know she poisoned the gas. But we do know that he committed this murder. The game is ready to move on. Yeah, for real. It's like, enough about gas. Here's the war. I'm glad. I did not want to have to spend like 3 hours trying to like pin down a woman who was just trying. Like, Olive Green is too like sad. Like, I don't want to be like, I'd feel bad pressing her for 3 hours straight to try to get information out of her. She didn't even really lie all that much in court. She kind of just like didn't say anything. It's mine. Like, Shamspeare's the real villain of this case. It's mine. That loot is mine. Oh, God. What? When the imposter is sus! He's drinking the Among Us potion! It's all lies! I don't accept any of it. Why should I? After all, you don't have a shred of evidence. You can't prove. I killed that fellow. Forsooth! I'm the victim here, remember? Isn't that right, ladies and gentlemen? If I don't admit to it, that's nothing you can do! You can't arrest me. For the time being, anyway. Verily, you can't arrest the victim, can you? Isn't that right, ladies and gentlemen? Ah! I'm so close. I just need a few more hours where I don't have to be in the stupid courtroom defending myself. I am the victim. I am the victim. I am the victim. Do you really think I'd just give up? There's no question in my mind now. This man is guilty through and through. But he seems so utterly intoxicated by the idea of that loot. He'll never admit to what he's done, Mr. Naruhodo. There's one way I can finish it. He's already committed the most heinous crimes to get his hands on that loot. Which means all we need to do is find it for... What? Find the loot? Why that... The police thoroughly searched the room following the death of Mr. Ross. If it's there at all, it must be very well hidden indeed. Without conclusive evidence, I certainly cannot rule. If only there was some way we could find the convict's loot quickly. How are we... We have something that can help us find his loot? I mean, I guess that would prove our theories. Yes, counsel? The defense would like to make a proposal about how to find the late convict's hidden loot. I believe we are already in possession of something that could give us a clue as to its whereabouts. Nervously dancing. Shamspear nervously dancing. Besides, we've used the same technique once already and it definitely paid off then. Very well then, Counsel. Let the court hear your idea. What do you propose we can use in order to locate the hiding place of the deceased convict's hall? The gas meter?
Take that!
It's in the gas meter! Good gracious! We can use that? What? We can use their gas? I have another idea. Stop wasting the court's time with this senseless rubbish. Ah! That is my proposal. Okay. So it wasn't... I thought maybe the loot was in the gas. We've already found one secret hiding place. Oh, yeah. Huh. Oh, the spray thing! Okay. What do you propose we can use to locate the spray thing of locating like, where people touched? That's not in my evidence, though. What? I guess I just present this and argue we can use the skin print seeker gun? If I'm not mistaken, those are Mr. Shamspear's handprints on the wall of his lodgings. That's right, my lord. Exposed as a result of the defense's independent investigation of the scene. Based on a wonderful new discovery in the field of forensic science by the great detective Mr. Sholmes. A great detective? Is that some kind of joke? Do you really think I'm going to be daunted by a man with such a ridiculous title? I should think the great bard ought to recognize such a title when he hears one, Oh, wait, that's not... I should think the great bard ought to recognize... I should think the great bard ought to recognize such a title when he hears one, Mr. Shamspear. Perhaps we should compete for the honor of most ridiculous title. Ah! 'Tis Sherlock Sholmes himself. What are you doing here, great detective? Your usual haunts are the filthy back streets of the capital, are they not? Ah, Mr. Reaper, it's been too long, and I see your complexion has worsened since we've last met. And Mr. Sholmes, he does know Lord Van Zeek's. This was also established in the 5th case of the first game, but since that case takes place after this one, it's a weird... You may be heralded as great detective by the population at large. That does not give you the right to come and go in my courtroom as you see fit. If I may, my lord, Mr. Sholmes' newly developed scientific method has helped us to uncover clues in this case already. I call them skin prints, my lord. My method identifies every location touched by an individual under scrutiny. It's the method by which we were able to ascertain... But how can we can't, like, puff it for Selden Rogers specifically. So how would we know... How would we be able to use that to find the treasure? I don't... You need only a small sample of something the individual has previously touched to make an indicator solution. In your case, sir, I used the teacup you had been holding. Elementary. So now, Mr. Naruhodo. Ah, yes. What am I to use as a sample to make the indicator solution this time? I don't know. We need a sample to help locate Selden's loot. What form will that sample take? Present a person? Why would presenting a person help us here? We need to present evidence. Indeed, and you have the particular piece of evidence? Upon my word, Mr. Naruhodo. So what particular item is the one in question? Alright, what do we have that, like, have been touched by Selden Roger? Kucha Magucha. This is just a newspaper article. I don't know if we have any evidence that we can use to, like, track Selden's fingerprints. But presenting a person doesn't make sense. I'm confused. Like, presenting a person doesn't make sense either. Maybe this photo? No, that doesn't make sense. I don't know. What? This is weird. I think maybe it is a person, because I don't actually have any pieces of evidence that do this. I asked you to look at the evidence, not my eye. I think we need to reconsider this from the start. I'm ready and waiting, Mr. Naruhodo. The rest is in your hands. I think we do need to present a person. I'm not sure who, but... We will need something of Selden's. And something the convict owns happens to be in the possession of somebody list. Oh, the key, duh. Upon my word, Mr. Naruhodo, your powers of reasoning appear to be... I feel like they could have just added the key to the evidence, and then we could have presented that, and that would have saved a step, but whatever.
Take that!
Miss Green. Ah, me? What do you want with me? The key around your neck, if you please. Sorry? That key belonged to Selden. There will be remnants of secretions from the man's skin on its surface that we can use. Very true. That is the sample we need. Using it, we can create the indicator solution required for Mr. Sholmes' skin print seeker and find out exactly what Selden touched in the room that he used to rent. Ah! Mr. Shamspeare, as one great to another, I assure you. If the late convict's haul is hidden somewhere in his former lodgings, I shall uncover it in no more than 30 minutes. Ugh. Frickin' Shamspeare. He just wants to get into that room and find the loot, and he keeps getting... The truth is well within our grasp now, and as such, you will never get your hands on the One Piece. In that case, I'll gladly let Mr. Sholmes have this key. No! Give the key to me. The detective shan't have it. It's over, Mr. Shamspeare. No. No. You're out of options now. It's real! It's real! Whoa. Oh, shameful spear! Despair! Be thy name! And an unexpectedly bizarre and insane villain breakdown. See, he's the one who gets the villain breakdown. Olive Green does not. I never intended to kill the man. I just wanted to drive him out of the room, that's all. So you'd have time to find the convict's haul of stolen goods? Yet after you'd killed the young man, you still didn't move into the room. I asked the landlord, of course. I pleaded with him, but he refused. I was 3 months behind with the rent, for one thing. Because he was trying to get money this entire time. Like, he's been trying to get that money this whole time. He has no income. He had the gas repair work done immediately afterwards, putting the room out of action for a while. And then, this Japanese man swooped in at just the right moment to sign the new lease. Poor Mr. Natsume. What unfortunate timing. Yeah, Shamspeare just constantly getting robbed of his opportunities to, like, rob the room. Then, 5 days ago, after the incident on Briar Road when the Japanese fellow got himself arrested, I thought I'd finally have my chance. But it wasn't meant to be. No, the scene was sealed off and guarded by the police night and day. And, if I remember rightly, Mr. Sholmes spent the whole day in there reading books. I couldn't even enter the room, let alone search for the loot. Which is why, on the day Mr. Natsume was acquitted and returned to his room, you once again tried your trick of blowing air into the gas pipe that feeds the stove in his room. Unbeknownst to you, however, that action would lead you into a deadly trap. William Shamspeare, how does it go? To be or not to be? That is the question. From Shakespeare's Hamlet, Act 3, Scene 1. Well, let me tell you, in your case, it's not to be. That is the answer. You deserve to die for what you've done. At first, I really did think it was just a terrible accident. I'll never forget our conversation the night before Duncan died. The gas supply in my new lodgings are a complete disaster, you know, Olive. The gas supply? Yes, the stove always seems to go out in the middle of the night for some reason. It's no joke. They say it's the convict's curse. Oh, Duncan, please, don't stay there. I don't care how cheap it is. All right, then, if it's that important to you, I'll start looking for a new place. There are spare rooms. There are spare rooms at my house. Why don't you leave that horrible room tonight? No, I'd better not. We said we'd wait until we graduated before we told our parents, remember? That was the last time we ever spoke. That very night, he fell victim to the gas. You know, it's like this game keeps one-upping itself with how sympathetic the motives of its killers are. Like, there was the girl who killed Kazuma where it was an accident and she panicked and freaked out. And then there was, the guy trying to get revenge. A lot of them are revenge. But this one feels like the most valid, the most valid form of that revenge so far. In that this was like her fiance. And this stupid clown man killed him. But instead, all I've been left with is bitter regret. I stopped going to school. But something kept drawing me back to the house on Briar Road. I saw a stooped Eastern-looking man with a mustache coming out of the house one day when I was there. He walked up the road to Grubb's Grubbery for some food, so I followed him and sat myself down next to him. He had some watery-looking soup and started to pick a quarrel with the publican. That place is cursed, I tell you! Cursed! The ghost of that convict who used to live there is trying to suffocate me! So that's how she knew. She heard him talking about it. The room is full of gas and I can hardly breathe. But the pipes have been checked. No problem there. It's like I'm the problem. But how could that be? Duncan was gone and now this man had almost suffered the same fate. Could it really be a curse? I thought they made her look like the, kind of dumb, clueless, low self-esteem character. But then she actually kind of, masterminded this and figured it all out. Figured out something nobody else could. Then I remembered. A rumor I'd heard about how the gas companies go around investigating the gas installations. Everybody's heard the stories, it seems, about how they go around checking the pipes. How anything connected to the gas can be extinguished by blowing air into the pipework. That's when it started. A little flicker of doubt in the back of my mind that just wouldn't go away. Was it really an accident, though? Once I'd had the idea, it wouldn't leave me alone. It plagued me day and night. So I bought this at one of the black markets in the East End. A black market? I'd never been. I'd just heard people talk about them. And you really can buy anything you can think of there. In some ways, being able to get my hands on this so easily made me even more determined. I had to find out one way or another. Was Duncan's death an accident, or was it murder? Yeah, because she didn't know. But if she poisons the thing to blow into, the only way anyone actually gets poisoned by it, the only way Shamspear actually gets poisoned by that, is if he is trying to murder somebody. So it's like he doesn't die unless he's trying to kill someone. And your chosen method for establishing the truth was simple, but highly effective. Smear poison on the gas pipe you suspected the man of tampering with, and wait. If Mr. Shamspear was innocent, nothing would have come of what you've done. But if he was guilty, he would pay for his crimes dearly. That's she didn't set out to murder this guy in cold blood. She just did this, sneaky thing to try to, if he tries to kill someone again, he will die instead. Fair enough. I do not see any moral wrongdoing with what this character did. Even the other, revenge getters, I still was kind of okay, but you're, sus. You're bad also. I don't know. It's a test. You know, Shamspear doesn't commit another murder, he doesn't die. And then I wrote in this little note. I have information regarding the death of Duncan Ross. And he went, which was further evidence. Yeah. If he'd done it, I knew that he'd try. That would worry him enough that he'd be sure to go. So I waited to see if it worked. And of course, Mr. Shamspeare followed the instructions to the letter. I worked out where the gas pipe was straight away. So I smeared a good amount of the poison I'd bought all around the mouth of the pipe. All the time praying that the devil's work wouldn't be done. And that was all. Yeah, she didn't want it to be true. She didn't want it to be true, but her logic was, well, if it's true and this man tries to do the same thing again, he needs to be stopped. Actually, no. All the time praying that the devil's work would be done, and that the culprit would get his just deserts. It's like a bit of, it's a vengeance motive, but I've seen I've seen far worse vengeance motives from this game, in fact. Like her. Okay, here's what makes her form of vengeance distinct from the guy in case 1 who also committed a murder based on wanting like revenge, like tried to killed an evil person. Here's the difference between her and the guy in that case and the guy in the 5th case of the last game who committed murders out of revenge. They also were trying to frame someone else for said murder. They were willing to throw an innocent person under the bus to avoid being like convicted. Whereas she did something that, you know, in theory, if Soseki hadn't visited the dude with tea that night, she literally would not have been caught. She there were no like extraneous victims. There was only one person who, according to her plan, would be the victim of this revenge plot, and it would be the person who committed the murder originally. It's a pure revenge plot. No sullying, no like innocent people thrown under the bus. In theory, obviously it didn't work out that way quite, but to think, when you first 3 days ago, when you first stood before me on this dock, the whole affair seemed relatively straightforward. Yes, my lord. I certainly never imagined the depths of depravity that we should subsequently find lurking behind the scenes. It has been a long road, my Nipponese friend. Oh, yes. And one I certainly didn't envisage walking with you. Nevertheless, together we have reached the light at the end of the tunnel, as it were. Miss Green? Yes, my lord. You will henceforth be stripped of your freedom as punishment for the attempted murder of Mr. William Shakespeare. Yes, I know. But also, she's probably going to get less harsh of a prison sentence than Shakespeare himself, who actually murdered someone and then attempted to murder another person. And you, Mr. Shakespeare, you will be tried for the murder of Mr. Duncan Ross in cold blood and the subsequent attempted murder of Mr. Soseki Natsume here present. Like, he's clearly much harsher with him. Mr. Naruhodo? Yes? Yesterday, at the hospital, when you and your friends stopped me from ending your life by drinking what was left in the poison bottle? But you didn't have to say it. I wasn't myself. I can't even really remember what was going through my mind. Grief. At first, the grief made her angry and, like, lash out, and then it made her sad. To be or not to be, I suppose. That's a question that's so hard to answer, it seems. Well, personally, I'm glad of your being here, Miss Green. Oh. And I'd like to believe that it's a blessing Mr. Shakespeare didn't die when he ingested that poison. For your sake, at the very least. Yeah, she's only gonna get an attempted murder charge now. Whereas Shakespeare's about to get a murder charge and an attempted murder. Justice was served today. Because of you, I chose life, not death. And now you've made the truth come out at last. See, that's what, and she didn't spend a bunch of time like desperately trying to deny what she did, to like, and like blaming someone else. she did a little bit of deflecting, but she didn't lie very much. Like, and when it came right down to it, when it came to like, okay, we can catch Sham Spear by catching you, she was more than willing to play along. Like, best, most morally good killer in Ace Attorney. Mr. Seki Natsume. Yes, my lord? The court declares that you are exonerated from all blame on this matter. Accordingly, I would call upon the ladies and gentlemen of the jury to present a verdict of not guilty. We are in full agreement, my lord. In that case, I hereby declare the defendant not guilty. It didn't even take 3 hours. Wow. It's a little shorter than I expected, yeah. Alright. Now I can cut stream and go watch Jenna. Court is adjourned. Ba ba bum bum ba. 23rd February, 3:24 p.m. Oh, yes, at last! Divine justice duly done! Divine justice. My dear fellow, if there were any divine justice in this world, you would shave that mustache. No! This has nothing to do with my mustache! Some say that a luxuriant mustache is a sign of physical prowess, Mr. Soames. Banana enjoyer streamer watches short streamer guy after winning a banana. Oh, my bananas! I was like, what are you talking about, banana enjoyer? Locum student, Mr. Navajo Esquire. Once again, you've saved me from doom. I'm very happy to have been able to help, Mr. Natsume. Congratulations on your acquittal. Your second in almost as many days. I was first acquainted with and gained affection for English literature whilst in our great homeland empire. And then, by a twist of fate, I was brought to the land that bore the fruit of that literature. Only, the city of bricks and mortar became my prison. And try as I might, I never found my feet here. You've had such a difficult time, haven't you? Ah, but a week ago now, I dragged you out of that dark and dingy room of yours, did I not? You did. And I've seen more of life in this week than in all my years to date. And for the first time, I feel I've begun to see the true face of the English that's so far been hiding from me behind a wall of fog. My dear fellow, there is nothing special about the true face of the English, as you put it. I got pretzels to eat when Gregson showed up, and then he never showed up. I'm hungry. I'm eating. Sorry. If you hear me smacking. Wheresoever one goes in the world, humans are human. There are few genuine differences. Yes, I think you're right. I finally started to see that. I've come to understand something. I've worked out why I was attracted to English literature in the first place. It made me see that whatever our nationality, we humans all have the same hopes and fears. I'm ready to be done now. I've made a decision, too. I'm going to cut short my study tour here, go back to Japan, which we already know because you were in the first case in Japan. I'm going to write a novel. My, so you'll be creating your own literature, Mr. Natsume? How wonderful. Funny fact that I mentioned before, but I don't know if you were ever here for it, Casey. So Seki Natsume, this character, is an actual, like, semi-famous Japanese author and poet. That they just, like, made into this, like, funny man. Oh, well, no, I mean, I wouldn't presume to call it literature. And they basically, if you can look up Soseki Natsume, and on his Wikipedia article, it mentions specifically that he did do a study tour in London, and there's a quote from him saying that he hated the study tour. So they took that quote and just ran with this characterization. Obviously, everything else is, like, not real, but he's the first and only real caricature of a real person in an Ace Attorney game. Very funny. When that is precisely the definition, Mr. Mustache, why not call it literature? I suppose you're right, yes. It will in a way be literature. But as of now, all I know is that I'd like to try my hand at writing. I have no delusions of grandeur. I for one, would love to redo it. So you're saying Sholmes isn't real? No! Well, all things considered, it may be for the best. After all, you have once again emerged victorious from a battle with the Reaper. Ah, that's very true. And there is no salvation for a person in the dock when the Reaper is the prosecutor. The desire to return post-haste to the perceived safety of your homeland is one I quite understand. My goodness, yes. Faced with such a terrifying prospect, no one would consider that cowardly. But that's not why I'm leaving! I mean it! Objection! What a funny little guy. And that was the case that we found ourselves embroiled in 6 months ago now. So Seki-san did indeed to return to Japan and submitted a report about both cases to the government. It was on reading that report that Professor Mikotoba was prompted to visit the scholar, causing the incident of the first case. Oh, the Selden Roger loot. Okay, so yes, it was established that Susato-san being sent home to Japan was caused by something that happened in this case. And the only possible explanation that comes to mind is something to do with the Selden loot. That's the part that has like a greater piece in this larger mystery the game is presenting that takes little bits from each case. So now we're going to look at the One Piece. Oh, well done, Mr. Sholmes. How simply marvelous of you to uncover the secret hiding place in just 1 day. Wasn't it supposed to take 30 minutes? As I believe I told you, my dear fellow, skin prints are extremely useful in such situations. Wouldn't you agree, Gregson? Bravo! Bravo! I'm just gonna let him chew while I chew. You don't know what part's me and what part's him. Grexy's been happily munching in agreement this whole time, you know, Hurley. Happily? I think perhaps humorously might be close to the truth. So, it transpires the man fashioned a hiding place in the cedar. And what's in it? What exactly is the loot? And let us look then, if you're ready. Let's examine the late burglar's hole. I like that the police are apparently... Oh, wait, Gregson's here with us. That makes sense. But why are we even allowed to be a part of this? What the? What is that? It looks to be some sort of neckband or collar. A collar? It's huge, though. Look at all the gemstones set there. I can see why it was claimed to be worth 1,000 pounds. Perhaps I could have it as a belt. Oh, have you noticed on the inside there are some dark stains? That's blood. That's blood. Alright. Well, this is going to be evidence in something later. Perhaps I won't have it as a belt. Then, of course, there's this emblem here. A large letter B with a... Why does that look familiar? Somebody else have this emblem? What does it signify, do you think? Oh, I hadn't noticed that. That looks familiar. I swear we've seen that at some point in this game. I feel as though I've seen that emblem somewhere before. Yeah. That's enough of that, I think. So this is what Sholmes is hiding. This is what Sholmes didn't want her to write about. This is the object. The plot important object for later cases. Well, Inspector, I believe you ought to be taking this, aren't you? It could be valuable evidence, after all. It must be kept safely under lock and key. Sholmes not wanting to examine evidence? Sus. Ah, yes. Get your grumpy hands off of that, you lot. Hand it over now. Well, that's going to be important later. It's a surprise tool that will help us later. Those dark marks on the inside of the collar. Those stains. Could they really have been blood? Okay, I still don't understand why this case was called Memoirs of a Clouded Kokoro. Like, what does that have to do with anything? Well, that was a funny case, wasn't it? But it's all buttoned up now. And you look very pleased, Iris. I am. Because I was starting to wonder what I could use as the basis of this month's story in the magazine. But this case will be perfect. It's been so fascinating. You're talking about the latest installment of the Adventures of Sherlock Sholmes, I presume. The mystery of the knife in the mist and the mustached man in the convict's curse, perhaps. I could make it a two-part story. Oh, I can't wait. A word, please, Iris. Yes? What is it, Hurley? I'm sorry, but you can't write about this case. It's out of the question. What? Why not? It's a great case. I shall have to insist that you limit yourself to the first of your two titles. The second must never be written. Is that clear? Yes.
And so
The
it was
unwritten
that the second of
case.
Soseki-san's cases became buried in obscurity. Now, looking back, I feel I understand. I can see why Mr. Sholmes forbade Iris from publishing the story. It would take a little longer before I saw the link between everything that had happened and would happen. For it wasn't until 2 months after the arrival of Susato-san's letter that events began to unfurl again, with an incident that took place at the very heart of the eagerly awaited Great Exhibition of London.
I knew there'd be a case at the Great Exhibition. They kept setting it up as being right around this time period. Yeah. Okay. So now we're going back to the like present timeline because that whole case was a flashback to between the fourth and fifth case of the first game. But now I'm thinking the lore from that case is going to be relevant in the next one. Or at least the lore about Selden Rogers' treasure. None of the rest of it's probably not all that relevant. But that concludes the Memoirs of the Clouded Kokoro, Case 2 of the Great Ace Attorney to Resolve. Bro, episode 3, Fox? Really? Okay. Well, I'm not gonna play it right now because I want to yeah. I don't feel it's the second best of both games. Nice. I thought that last case was really good. I really liked the ending. Uh Funny characters in that one too. Just a good time. What is this? Why is there Steam stuff on my? I don't care. Get out of here. All right, but that being said, I am gonna cut stream. If episode 3 really does fuck, then I will I'll probably be back next week with some more. I've been consistently doing these week by week this month. It's been a good time. Uh, Also want to play more Everhood. I played that earlier this week. I can't wait. Let's go. The One Piece. The One Piece had blood on it. The One Piece. The One Piece is evidence. Have fun watching Germa. Yeah. All right. Bye. Jack, what am I gonna do after the stream? Read the message right above yours. Arrivederci!